He said it ain't even close. Joel, MVP recently. Jaylen Brown, recent finals MVP. Tyrese Maxey, all-star the last 3 years. We all know what Bron does. This is from, of course, Kevin Durant.
Then that's surprising in itself right there.
Like going at LeBron?
Yeah, going at LeBron in that way.
Even
publicly.
First of all, LeBron catching a stray.
Yeah,
right?
because, there seems to have always been a mutual respect there. So he's putting that publicly out there. Those are his true feelings, it seems.
Someone's saying Kevin Durant joined the super team. So by comparing it to the Sixers and LeBron, now he just unintentionally took a shot at LeBron. Then he goes on to say, when I joined the Warriors, Klay Thompson, never an MVP candidate in nothing.
22 points per game average.
Draymond, 14 points per game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Steph, an MVP, just like Joel was. I don't get how the Warriors team is better on paper.
Well, the Warriors were already proven to be a winning squad. That's the difference that he left out.
I feel like Steph and Joel are a fair comparison there.
But, interesting. It's like saying the Dodgers are doing the same thing the Yankees did. It's like, hold up, there is a difference.
Klay Thompson, but never an MVP candidate in nothing. Why you got to say that?
So a few people taking strays, but only one I saw responded. That was Klay Thompson. He goes, yo.
Yeah, Klay goes,
oh, man, we good?
Yo, man, you good? Why are you using my full government name?
Again, that's public. Like, he could have made his point without bringing everyone else into it. So catching strays is what we're talking about.
Yeah, and by the way, unnecessary or necessary for Kevin Durant? We'll explore a little more. Plus, we'll talk some NFL. We are 2 days away, guys. More Covino and Rich next, right here.
Drew McIntyre here from WWE. Wielding the Claymore can be a life of chaos. When I'm not dominating in the ring, Chumba Casino is how this warrior takes a wee break. With hundreds of online social games and new weekly releases, there's always something fresh to try. And those daily boosts, next level. Even my free time feels like Valhalla. So when life feels like a battle, kick up your feet, have some fun, and let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T's and C's. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming. Happy screaming. Summer screaming. Dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska.
Almost every car made over the last 10 years has a camera. Did you know that when you replace a windshield, the camera needs recalibrated? If your glass provider doesn't fix the camera, you could have issues with safety features like forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control, or emergency braking. Don't trust some guy in a truck to fix or replace your windshield and then have to make a second appointment to calibrate your camera. You need Olson's Auto Glass, 2041 West 7th Avenue in Eugene. Olson's Auto Glass, repairing windshields since 1938.
Millions of Americans are glued to their TV weekly, watching a sport they love. Come and relive your childhood at A&J Sports Cards. They have a wide variety of sports cards and memorabilia. Eugene's home for collecting is A&J Sports Cards. Whether you're looking for the stars from the past or the present, you'll find them at A&J Sports Cards. They are here to meet your hobby needs. That's A&J Sports Cards, 1478 West 6th Avenue, 541-343-5561.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
At Wheelchairs for Warriors, serving America's heroes is our mission. With your support, we serve veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty across the United States of America, providing them custom fit, complex rehab mobility solutions to ensure they rejoin their lives at the highest level of independent mobility and function possible. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it, so can you.
For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew. So here we go. First day on the job. Got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we
KORE Springfield, Eugene. I'm Danny Havel. You can listen to me on The Drive, weekdays from 3 to 6 on The Sports Animal, Eugene.
10, 9, 7,
Dude, I am
6,
totally stuck.
5,
It's
4,
about time.
3,
My God,
2,
okay, it's happening.
1.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your...
You're listening to Oregon's premier afternoon sports show. This is The Drive.
How could you not be pumped up listening to that? Seriously. Come on now. This is The Drive, the sports animal in Eugene, live on the Twitter and the YouTube. If you're watching us, hello, wave to the friends, wave, wave. Mims, wave. There you go. Welcome, friends. SportsAnimalEUG.com is where you can find us on the website, which has been expanded. I just have to say, I'm so happy. Devin's been doing a ton of work from Umblique Spider. And we're on all the socials. Sports Animal EUG. Thanks for tuning in to our little radio program. The next 3 hours, you're locked in. We have a cavalcade of guests. Yogi Roth, the governor, is going to join us in the first hour. Hour number 2, Eric Scopel, the great Scopel Dallas. We start out hour number 2 with him, and then we're going to boo Kyle Tucker, apparently, in hour number 3.
I'm not. You guys might be your Cubs fans, but I...
No.
I'm not.
I think this is more Justin than me.
I know. He ruined baseball, too. But...
No, wait. Can I introduce everybody first? I'm Danny Havel. Right over here is Steve Mims. Right over there is Justin Grossweiner. We are your tag teams for this show today. Okay. So we're not going to start out with booing Kyle Tucker. By the way, I want to present something to Mims right now. Goose.
Uh-oh.
All right, here we go. There.
Wow.
This is on YouTube.
Holy
You
cow.
can't see it. You're actually getting paid.
Well, look at that. I don't want to
It is.
cover up, but
It's-
I'll show it is a paycheck and probably
Wow.
still
Yeah.
show up
Yeah,
all
there
the
you go.
zeros that are on this thing. An
No,
incredible
wait,
amount
no,
of zeros
wait a
on this
sec.
thing, but thank you. I am
Run
now
to the bank.
gainfully employed as a sports radio host. This is exciting.
That's probably more than you made in 2 years, or how many years from?
I ate a lot of pizza and a lot of chicken bones, man. It probably equaled up to more than that, but it was a lot of chicken bones and a lot of pizza, and I am grateful for that. Hey, I can be bought by pizza and wings as well.
Yes, you
but
can.
thanks, boss. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go, bud.
Cool.
You've earned every single freaking Penny, and I'm not going to say there. By the way, I had to lay at night in my bed with the stream from yesterday to let my wife. She didn't hear me say the
itter
word, and I had to find it for her, and I found it, and she literally, that was the best thing ever.
That was good.
Yeah, we
And
had.
we haven't heard from the FCC on that one.
No,
right?
on the other one as
Okay.
well. All right,
Okay,
so
good.
follow us on all the socials. It's Baby J's over there to our right. We've got Yogi Roth coming up. We want to talk about the USA Today college football preseason coaches poll that was released. 3-year anniversary of Oregon in the Big Ten. What impact does that have, if any? Mario Cristobal is in the news. We're going to talk about him as well. Our phone number open for you, the Oregon Man Clinks hotline at 541-844-3484. Also, toll free 877-844-3484. We're in the Bigfoot Beverages studios. All right, boys, where do you want to start? You want to go poll?
Poll? Yeah, we've been waiting a year for preseason polls. Let's do preseason polls.
Okay. So Ohio State, number 1. Oregon, number 2.
Yeah.
Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Indiana, Miami. Let's get through the rest of the top 10. Texas A&M. Aggies are in there. Look at that. And then Oklahoma and Ole Miss. What do you think?
I think I was surprised Oregon was 2. I thought
I
that
was too.
Oregon would be closer to the 4-5. Again, we're picking nits, isn't that what we say here?
Yeah.
But I was surprised they were 2, as you and I were just talking about. I think I'm trying to look it up. I think that's probably their highest preseason ranking ever. The year after, when Mariota decided to come back for the senior
Right.
year.
That was where
the
I thought it was.
championship
Yep, yep.
run.
That
But
was
that year before, if you remember, they didn't have a great finish to that one, obviously. So I don't know that they would have been 2. I don't think they would have been 2 after the Auburn loss because that team wasn't bringing back as much. So I'm guessing the first one. I'm trying to do a little research on the fly. But so anyway, my takeaways. I was surprised Oregon was 2. I'm not quibbling with it. My number 1 in the Big Ten was number 6. So
Right.
that's okay. I thought Indiana was undervalued at 6. I thought Georgia was overvalued at 3. I'm not bought in on Georgia yet with Gunnar Stockton back. I know they got a quarterback back, but I'm not sold on them at 3. I would have had Indiana up there higher. And those would have been, I would have had, the other ones I didn't like was I would have had LSU higher. I know people hate Lane Kiffin. I think he's brought in a good team. I think they're going to be good.
Gotta
I think they were
separate that
12.
from everything.
I would have
Really
had,
you do.
I would have had them higher. And I think that, Alabama was in that 11-12 range type thing. So, yeah. So
Would you
I
want
thought
them higher
it
too?
wasn't, no, I did not want them higher. It wasn't a huge surprise. No, the other one was Oklahoma. Oklahoma at 9 was the other one that surprised me. I know John Mateer's back, and they've got some things too. And again, this is all, we're quibbling with who knows what's
Right.
going to be.
Of course.
But I thought I would have LSU ahead of Oklahoma, and I would have Indiana ahead of Georgia in my polls.
Okay, so Baby J, before you get in, I'll give you the next 5. Alabama, Texas Tech, LSU, USC, BYU. Go.
Well, I just wanted to say quickly about Goose's Indiana. They
Mhm.
are number 6, but they do have the second most first place votes. So
Which is weird. So that means a lot of people were really down on them because that means they had a lot
Right.
of the first place ones, but then they must have gotten a lot of 10 and 11.
I think
votes.
it's really interesting because it means that they were the second most people thought, yes, this is the team that, similar to last year, is going to be a championship level team. And then there's quite a few people, obviously, that just are simply going to say, still don't believe in Indiana. So I do think that was interesting. I would have had them a little bit higher myself. I don't think I'm surprised at Oregon's 2. I don't know. They brought back who they brought back. So I'm not super surprised about that. I'm with you, though. I think that LSU should be a little bit higher. Like you with Georgia. I also don't think Georgia should be quite as high. Miami, I don't know. Miami, I think maybe should be a little bit higher. And I'm also surprised we heard so much about Notre Dame. I'm surprised they're not in that like 1, 2, 3 sort of range as well.
Yeah.
So, Justin, you need to make sure you're on program 1. Just make sure.
There we go.
All right, there you go. See, you weren't, right? So we had some fans that were listening in to make sure that they could hear you. So
We're still working out the kinks over here.
yeah, we are. So
You got me now, though.
yeah, all right.
So Oregon, the year after they lost to Ohio State in the title game, so
Yeah.
that was Mariota's last game. So we
Yeah.
come in with Vernon Adams. They were 5 that year in the preseason. I haven't
Okay.
been able to figure out the 2014 yet, but 2015 they were 5.
Okay. All right. So as we look forward, and obviously, Justin, you know, Mims, you might not know, I really love preseason polls.
Me too.
I actually do like them
See,
because I like
he
to make
does-
fun of them.
So, okay. Well,
Is that fair? It's like liking bad movies because they're bad. I like bad polls because they're bad.
I hate
I love
preseason
being able to
polls.
say
I don't
in-
want to rank anybody until the
No,
first
no.
4
I
weeks
know
of
you
the
don't.
season are done.
I love being able to sit there in
This is for us.
October and go, yeah, and they had LSU ranked in the top 5 and Clemson. What were they thinking?
What are we talking about on August 5th if we don't have preseason polls?
Exactly.
I agree with you that in terms of having a poll that matters towards something in the playoff,
right?
That's fine. But the USA Today poll has nothing to do with that, and the AP poll, those are no longer a part of the calculation. It's all a committee now.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's all the committee now. There's no more
Okay.
polls. We're not in the BCS thing anymore. So it's just the committee, which the committee doesn't put out their poll till week 6 or 7.
I'm
now, are they
better with that.
influenced by early ones? Sure, maybe.
I think they are.
So, do you
but-
agree with this?
That they should have polls?
No. What we have right now, this right here. Do
No,
you
I
agree with what obviously not, because you had Indiana
Yeah.
above Oregon.
And by the way, I'm continuing to go back. I don't mean to keep, but 2014. So this is the year Oregon's coming in. Mariota's senior year.
Mm-hmm.
You remember they beat Florida State in the Rose
Yeah.
Bowl. Florida State
I
was
was
the
there.
Florida State's the defending national champ.
Yeah.
Florida State's the preseason number
Jameis
1.
Winston.
Alabama's 2.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's 3. Oregon's 4. So
Right.
Oregon was 4 that year. I'm thinking that was their previous high point mark. Oregon Sports Information Department staff may have sent out an email that would say something different, but that would be my guess of their previous high point mark. So
Okay.
sorry, I'm not going to go through every year,
No.
but I just want to look at those two.
Look at those. Look
You
at
put a
Mims
fact
going.
in my brain, and I'm going to spend a
Yeah,
day
he's
trying to
gonna-
figure it
he's
out.
spinning
especially if
around.
it's
All right.
a time when I was covering the Ducks, and I should know these things.
Yogi Roth coming up. We're going to talk the 3-year anniversary of Oregon in the Big Ten. Mario Cristobal is going to poke his head up. Kyle Tucker as well. Your phone calls at 844-3484. That's the Oregon Man Clinics hotline. Also 877-844-3484. If you want to chime on in. Also online here on the YouTube and the Twitter. So, Justin, do you agree with where they've lined this out, USA Today?
I think in general, there's nothing like incredibly egregious that I'm surprised about, quite honestly. You know, a lot of SEC teams, but I think the teams you kind of expect are going to be near the top. The big brands, Texas, Notre Dame, Miami, of course, Oklahoma. I always figure Alabama will get the Alabama boost, but they're not quite as high as I maybe would have thought. Texas Tech is maybe a little bit lower than I would have thought, but I guess they don't have Brendan Sorsby, so I guess that's maybe taken into consideration a little bit there. So I think overall, for the most part, this all makes sense to me.
So I would throw out
Actually,
to you
there's
guys.
one team now that I'm looking at.
Okay.
Michigan's a little lower than I thought, maybe.
Okay.
16.
Yeah. Okay. So which team out of the top 10, maybe, and I'll throw out there, could sustain injuries and be able to keep moving forward? Because Oregon had to overcome that.
Yeah.
Other teams have.
I'm with you.
So which is the deepest team out of everybody? So I know I'm challenging you here, Goose.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
so
I would look at I think Oregon's pretty deep at some positions, including quarterback, which is the one
Right.
we really look at the most.
Yeah,
if they lose that.
absolutely. You have to.
It matters, for
You
sure
know,
matters.
Defensive line, maybe not, because they lost all the guys who didn't want to sit behind.
agree with
you
that
might
as
have-
well.
Defensively, your
Right.
depth probably isn't great. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to assume Ohio State and Texas have pretty deep rosters. That just is
Yeah.
going to be
Okay.
an assumption of mine. that they
Miami
do.
That's good.
probably too.
I like that as well.
Yeah, Miami's probably got some as well on there.
But
Okay.
we didn't mention Indiana. So is that saying something? Do we not think they're deep? We just think that
No,
they're...
but Goose,
We think
Goose
they're-
thinks
I
that
bet
it
you
is.
that
Yeah.
their depth is Kurt Signetti feels good about it, even if the rest of us had never heard of those people. That would
Right.
be my guess.
But I'm
and
with
I
you.
believe Kurt Signetti over the rest of us.
100%.
people.
I'm with you. I'm with you on
So
that.
something
agree
tells
as
me
well.
if his I don't know about quarterback, but if his right guard goes down, he's got somebody he thinks.
So
he
the
can get in there.
backup to Josh Hoover is not.
I don't know. It's no longer Mendoza's brother. Alberto took off. He's now the starter at Georgia Tech. So I don't know. I can't tell you that I know who the backup quarterback for Indiana football
Do you
is.
believe in Hoover though?
I do believe in Hoover. We had this discussion the other day. I'm a Hoover believer.
He's a Hoover. Okay, I want to find some alliteration that Justin will be happy
Right.
with.
I like alliteration.
I know.
I
you
just want to ask Goose a question here.
Okay.
Has Kurt Signetti reached a level to you where he is the best coach in college football and
Yes.
you trust and
he-
agree with
he-
everything he
he
will
already
do?
said
Correct.
yes.
Yes.
Anything
He
that
said
he's
yes.
going to do,
Yep.
you're like, I'm going to trust him.
Yep. He's also,
I'm
as
with
far
you.
as I can tell, the only one who's like his own GM. I mean, he's the one breaking down the film. He doesn't have GMs out there who are like reaching out and being the point of contact. And then once they grab that funnel and cut it down, as far as I know, he's like the one reaching out there and looking, and he sees dudes at schools that maybe haven't been heard of. And yes, I think he can look at film and say, that guy's going to fit my system. I do not question Kurt Signetti. Again, the guy's 25-2 at Indiana in 2 years, a program that, probably hadn't won 25 games over a 5-year span until then. So I think he's earned that. But yes, I'm not going to bet against Kurt Signetti until I see it come against him, and I don't think it's coming anytime soon.
So the fan base that will not like Josh Hoover will just say Hoover sucks. Do you-
Uh-huh, there you
so
go.
Brad, help me.
Is
with
this
that.
like a
He
presidential
texted me.
reference?
Yes. No. It's Hoover vacuums.
Oh,
They suck.
There used to be a quote about that too, where somebody did it was like I can't remember. Yeah, it was something like that.
No,
If your
it's fine.
team does this, then the other one. Yep.
So listen, I think that unless Indiana starts losing, how are you going to bet against them?
Well,
I'm
they're not
totally
going to
with
lose
you.
very soon because, as we talked about, they
Yeah.
do not have a whole lot of
Okay,
difficult games
You've
for a
broken
while.
down the
so,
schedules. I
yeah.
gave you the first
Yeah, they're not
template
gonna,
for that, and then all of a sudden you're all over it with
Yeah.
every single team.
Yeah,
So-
they're going to be what were we saying? It's like 5-0 against U.
Yeah.
I think USC and them both are like 5-0 heading into, so that'll be a great one.
But also, you get that confidence in your team. They start rolling and start winning, then it's like, you know what? We can keep going.
Yeah.
There's something to that with a locker room.
Yeah, and I mean those guys are coming off of 13 straight or 15, whatever. How many games they win last year? 16 straight wins.
16
So
straight.
I don't think that they need to start the season with. I don't think those guys have much doubt. If you saw Kurt Signetti, we ran it the other day at the media days. He's certainly not telling the guys to question their talent. He's telling them, we're built for this thing. So I'm not going to doubt them. And I picked them to win the Big Ten, and I stick by that. So by saying that, they probably would be number one in my preseason top 25.
And your
All right.
cause has been helped today as well with the
Look at this.
preliminary injunction granted to all the class of 2022 student athletes, which we're going to talk about here.
How is that going to affect everything?
They got Stephen Daly back.
One of their top defensive
Yeah,
linemen who
19 led-
didn't get drafted.
He's coming back,
is
right?
19
eligible to come
defensive-
back.
or,
I mean, again,
tackle
it's
loss.
lawsuit dependent, but and you'll be interesting to see because if they, right now they've been allowed to, but there's an appeal in place. Would Indiana play him and risk that if it's overturned that they'd have to forfeit
They
games?
got to
I don't know
figure it
if
out
it's all
now,
gonna work.
though, right? They've
Yeah,
got to figure it out in the
courts
next
do
couple of
things
weeks.
right as you want them done. The courts do things right as we need to get them done. You betcha. The judge just moves everything right up. We got to get college football set. Forget these murder defendants and them. We got to get college football figured out
Goose.
first.
Oh, Goose.
But
I'm taking crazy pills.
Ted Cruz will get it figured out by opening day, though. Don't worry.
God almighty. Help us all. Help us. Can we take a break before we
Yeah,
get
let's
Yogi?
take- we'll
All
take a
right,
break.
let's do that. Let's get a calm voice in this whole thing. Yogi Roth is going to join us next. We call him the governor, not just Big Ten, but I believe he is moving up in the world in a bigger platform. We'll talk about that next when we come back with the governor here on The Drive.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the sportsanimaleugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
All bets are on at the Three Rivers Casino Resort Sportsbook in Florence. Bet 24/7 at our kiosks or download the brand new Sportsbook app today and get $10 in free bets. Place wagers right from your mobile device while you relax in your room, hit the casino floor, or grab a bite. Then catch the action on Oregon's largest sports betting screen. Visit threeriverscasino.com/sportsbook to learn more. The Sportsbook at Three Rivers Casino Resort. Winning starts here.
Men like to get the most out of things. We expect results when we hit the gym, and we expect to finish our weekend to-do list. We also expect ourselves to never slow down, even when some things start to get a little harder. Low testosterone levels might be slowing you down. That's when Oregon Man Clinics step in. Sharpen your focus, regain energy levels, and improve your love life with treatment options tailored to you. Get the most out of being a man. Visit us online at our Springfield, Bend, and Albany locations.
Hi, Brad and my son AJ here with a word of encouragement from Cottage Road Chevy. In these uncertain economic times, know that Cottage Road Chevy is here for you today and tomorrow. Your need for a vehicle isn't going away, and we aren't either. We're proud to serve our customers for over 35 years, and we truly consider it a privilege. Your support is greatly appreciated. Cottage Road Chevy is proud to be part of our community, and we're here for you. Thank you.
Where do my friends and other students find their voice? We find our voice through the performing arts, along with millions of other high school students. By expressing yourself in a role on stage, through an instrument, or at the debate podium, the performing arts give us freedom to find ourselves, to find our place. The stage is where I can play, perform, and compete with my friends.
Performing arts at your school is where creativity meets courage. Encourage the students in your life to find their voice through the performing arts. This message presented by the NFHS, where we encourage all students to play, perform, and compete together.
Battery Pop Quiz. Did you know that most rechargeable devices use lithium-ion batteries? They're in laptops, power banks, and more. They can, however, be a fire risk. So power up your battery smarts with tips from the National Fire Protection Association. Only buy products with a safety certification mark. Charge devices on hard surfaces. Don't use off-brand cords, and always unplug when fully charged. Let's charge into fire safety. Visit fpw.org/battery for more tips.
1050 AM, 1029 FM, and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Welcome back, friends. Thanks for tuning into The Drive on the Sports Animal here in Eugene. Flashing my jersey.
Grateful Dead. Did you go out to the
Yeah.
M's game and get your Grateful Dead Bill Walton bobblehead the other night?
Did not. But I know
Would've
a
paired-
guy.
would've paired nicely with that.
Yeah, I know. I know a guy, though. I think I can get the Godfather to get me one. So, yeah, a couple of things. Just, business owner, all that stuff. Trying to keep everything alive here on the Sports Animal Eugene and out on the coast. Fox Sports Newport. Thanks for tuning in. More affiliates coming on next week.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Joey Keyran, our good buddy from Roseburg. We're going to be on The Score in Roseburg.
I like it.
We're going to be on KLAD in Klamath Falls next week as well.
Wow.
So we're going to rebrand this as the Sports Animal Network. So, and that's just the start. We got more affiliates coming on in Medford, Coos Bay, and Bend.
All right. I have family in Bend. They've been asking me. They called me last night and said, "Hey, we're not on yet. When do you come on?" So
there we go. Okay. So we got Yogi Roth coming on in just a few moments. So, Goose, you wanted to talk about the schedule for Oregon, especially because when we start talking about how things get seeded, how the SEC is battling each other, and this is where preseason polls come into this, right? It's a factor.
Well,
but when you have preseason polls, then it's like, who are you going to play in the first month of the season, because they're going to be ranked. And Oregon has, what you said, 4 top 25s.
Yeah, and it's actually weighted towards the end of the schedule for that. I mean, they open with Boise State, who's not top 25. I was a little surprised they weren't. I thought they normally throw a group of 5. There's no group of 5 team in the preseason top 25. Boise State is number 31, I think. So that's, again, not top 25. But obviously we know, or USC, who USC is ranked number 14.
Okay.
That's end of September.
Well, yeah.
And then we face, here you go. So November, you have November 7th, number 1 Ohio State, November 14th, number 16 Michigan, and then November 28th, number 19 Washington. So the schedule is filled with 4 top 25s.
Right now.
3 of them in 4 weeks at the end, with 1 at the beginning. And I'm not sure that Boise State by the end of the year might not be ranked as well. So anybody who thinks, look at it, it's a schedule that's clear for Oregon. 10-2 with that schedule, you are in the playoff, no doubt about it. I think at this point.
So is it a thing of just get yourself into the tournament and then all bets are off?
Well, you were the number 1 seed and you lost the first round because of a tough draw. So
that was an anomaly.
But I'm saying, just get yourself in. Yes, I mean last year Miami was the last team in, right? The last at large in,
and they made
a championship game. The year before, Oregon was the first team in. They didn't get out of their first game. So yeah, I think it's be healthy and get into the tournament, because even the first one, if you're hosting a game, great. If you're on the road, I don't think it's a huge deal if you're the 9 on the road.
Absolutely.
And then from there it's all neutral sites. So I don't think those things matter as much.
I don't think that it's going to be the situation of last year where the ACC just had this total weird season where you ended up with JMU coming to Autzen Stadium, right? I don't think that's probably going to be what's going to happen if you end up in that 5 seed like it did last year.
Yeah.
But I do think that it is interesting with playing these teams, and you never know by the end of the season, a team that you played, all of a sudden they're ranked higher, but then there's that weird conversation of Penn State last year for Oregon. It's when they played them, they're number 5, whatever they are, and then by the end of the year, whatever happens to Penn State is reflected upon that win instead of how it felt at the time. So it's just this really odd thing that I don't know if we don't really know how to quantify that, I'd say.
So we've had this conversation plenty of times where the teams that are ranked before you even play one game, you could take a look at the top 15, and I will say a third at the least, at the minimum, are not going to be in the top 15 at the end of the year.
Should we go over last year's? You'll laugh.
See, that's what I'm saying.
No,
you're going to amplify my point right here. So go ahead. You got it.
Clemson didn't make the final top 15 last year. Texas.
No, that's what I'm saying though. But
again,
so the preseason
nobody's saying that the preseason top 15 is going to live up to the end. We're just saying, hey, it's August 5th and we got something to talk about in college football. This is great.
But Goose, it's the starting point that helps somebody like an SEC.
Okay,
because you lose one game, it's like, well, you lost one game to Ohio State, being Texas, whatever it was. And then you stay up, you keep staying up, you don't drop down that far. And then it's like you stay in that certain spot because you're playing teams that are also ranked. See what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but again, the committee doesn't meet till week 7 or 8. And so I don't think that they're looking back at the preseason poll. I think back in the old days, maybe when you were doing the AP poll, and then that poll was built off of, the rest of the weeks were built off of that original one. The committee is supposed to be starting from scratch when they do their first one.
Would you like
and
to
I
be
think
on the
they
committee?
do. Well, I don't think Clemson, which Baby Jay's going to tell us in a minute, they're probably number 3 preseason last year, but they weren't in the first CFP committee poll because they had already petered out by then.
100%. But this is
it
fun.
is.
Listen, this is gonna be really fun.
This is great.
All right, Texas, they were number 1.
Yeah.
Their final record was 10-3, so they were pretty close to the playoff, but obviously didn't get in.
Right.
Number 2, Penn State, final AP unranked.
Ooh, look at that.
Number 3, Ohio State, final AP number 5. Clemson, number 4, final AP unranked. Number 5, Georgia, 12-2, final AP number 6, so pretty close there.
Yeah.
Notre Dame does number 6. Their final AP was number 10. Number 7 was Oregon. Their final AP was number 4. Then Alabama at 8. They're at number 8. Finally in the number 9.
Like most of them were pretty
number
close.
9.
Okay, like most of them were pretty close.
LSU.
Okay, number
Final
9,
record,
LSU.
7-6.
Yeah.
So they were unranked as well. Then you had Miami at 10. Their final
And they
AP
moved
was
up.
number
Yep,
2.
absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, number 11 was Arizona State. Their final AP was unranked.
Yes. Should have put Arizona, just taking out the state.
Actually, there's a lot of unranked ones coming up here. 11 was unranked by the end of the year. 13 was unranked by the end of the year. 14, 15, 17, 18, 20, 21.
but now we're
throwing.
I know, but
I
that's pretty
understand.
crazy
Yeah,
at that
Nobody's
point.
claiming
right?
at that point.
no.
I mean, those teams
Once
might
you
have
get
been
past
just out.
10, to me, once you get past 10, that's I'm taking
Basically, everything past 11 wasn't a ranked team.
ASU,
They had no idea.
ASU, now let's take them, picked last in the Big 12,
right?
Makes the playoffs. So then suddenly last year, everybody thinks they're now number 11 and they get out. So again, sometimes we overreact highs and lows to things as
Which
well.
is why the Big 12 didn't want to release a poll saying who was what and where in their conference, right? Because that's
they didn't
that's
want people,
exactly
they thought
that
ASU
was
still got poo-pooed because they had been picked last in their conference.
that was that offshoot of that. All
So
right.
Ole Miss was number 19, and they finished 3. So kind of like you're saying, it's not always just the other way.
All right. So the
Well, it has to
drive.
be, if you're going to have one go one way, you got to have somebody who's coming up as well.
Yeah. The drive here on
Where was Indiana?
Number 3, weren't they?
No,
not last year.
No,
No, last year.
last
Sorry,
year?
last year.
Nobody believed
I
in
don't
them.
think they were ranked.
Yeah. Who won the national championship?
It was Indiana, I believe.
It was. So there you go.
Yeah, they weren't in the.
Everybody
yeah.
thought they
Are
were
you
a fluke the year before.
Are you a defense attorney? You already,
Everybody-
you already know the answer to the
No, but I
question
was
before you say it.
I was. You might have heard about my jury duty recently, and I have learned from a defense attorney a little bit, so I got some tips. But yeah, no, Indiana last year, I thought it was 20 plus, but was unranked because everybody thought, oh, they were a fluke the year before, and they lost their quarterback, and this Mendoza guy, who knows about him, and suddenly they're there.
You can lock us in on sportsanimalEUG.com. I was just telling the guys, and I know possibly, Goose, you went and looked. The website has been blown up. We've got hundreds, I'm saying, not just 100, but hundreds of bloggers for MLB. We've got all of our podcasts on there, including us. But all of the shows that we have on the Sports Animal are there, and you can interact with Twitter and Twitch, all the socials, just like we're going to do right now with the Oregon Man Clinics hotline at 541-844-3484, and welcome in our good friend. He is the governor. He's Yogi Roth, and he joins us for the first time on the brand new program. Yogi, my friend, welcome to The Drive.
Hey, congratulations. Last time we talked,
yeah,
it was in, I think, early June, right? And it was just about to happen. So fired up for you. Can't wait to hear more details. Like, how's it going?
Well,
He's a little more stressed out than he used to be, Yogi, but once we get on the air, he's good. I think that 6 a.m. till 3 a.m. is a lot of business, but he's a ball of fun by 3 o'clock.
Listen, man. This has been great for me. I've lost some weight.
Some hair.
Yeah, and I got a baseball bat that I can use if I need to. But no, dude, I really appreciate. And you are one of our family that you've been with us all the way back in the Danny and Justin program, and now that you're going to be a regular on this program. We really appreciate all you bring, and I mean, listen, I just love you, man. Thanks.
Well, you've been an amazing supporter for a long time. And I hope to be a version of that for you guys too. And I think doing your own thing is empowering and scary, and it's everything, but ultimately you feel alive in a really cool way. And I applaud you for it, man. I'm glad you're going for it.
Thank you. So you can follow him, the Y option. You can get all those emails, dropping all the knowledge that Yogi Roth brings. He's also on Big Ten and NBC. Dude, you're getting big time, man. NBC now. Come on now. That's
Yeah,
got to be
I'm
exciting for
fired up,
you,
man.
right? You got to be fired up for that.
Yeah, I was just doing an interview earlier about Larry Fitzgerald because I'm out here on my way to Michigan tomorrow. And then because you can kind of get anywhere from Canton, Ohio, I'm kind of basing my Midwest training camp tour around the middle of the country.
Yeah.
So with that said, I was telling a story about how Larry and I were talking after I got the job, and he was like, dude, you got to go for it. Like it was really a fun combo to talk to a premier competitor who's going into the Hall of Fame this weekend. But yeah, I'm really proud of it. And also really proud of, every step along the way. And, nothing really changes other than, the games get a little bit more, I don't know. I don't want to call them bigger because I think every game is big, but you know what I mean in that regard. So I'm excited for that. I'm going to get to work some really cool games with some amazing people. I'm kicking off the season. I'll be at Minnesota on a Thursday and then calling the Apple Cup on a Sunday, in prime time and a really fun window. So I just cannot wait to get going and be at some of these venues. And, it's for me, the dream. I've always wanted to work at NBC since I was watching Bob Costas and Mike Fratello and Bill Walton and all of that as a kid. And they just didn't have football other than Notre Dame. And now they got it, a bunch. So, yeah, man, I'm pumped.
Awesome, man, Yogi. Hey, Yogi, to me, USC is one of the biggest wild cards as I look at the top teams in the country, and you're obviously familiar with them. There's the recruiting class that's great that's coming in, a returning quarterback that's coming back, but we've seen them not really reach the highs, maybe win the games they should, but not get to the ones above. Do you see this team as one that takes that next step, or do you see this as maybe, hey, with that freshman class, they make a step, but this might be step one of some things to come, or do you think they're ready to make that leap under Lincoln Riley?
Well, like I tell my kids pretty often, two things can be true, and I think both are true in that regard. Their schedule is awesome and brutal, pending which fan base you're in. They get the Ducks, as we know, in a huge tilt. You could argue that game is for more than just that game, right? That's for the West Coast. That's for supremacy in this side of the country. It's big in recruiting. SC has not won in a long time against Oregon, as you know. So then you have Washington, which is just as scary. I think Damon Williams is the most challenging quarterback to defend every week in the Big Ten because of how dynamic and accurate he is as an athlete and a quarterback, and one and the same. And then you got Ohio State. You got to go to Penn State for a whiteout. You've got to go to Indiana. And oh, by the way, you got to go to Wisconsin. You got to go to Rutgers. Like there's sneaky tough teams in this league, and the venues are hard. So yes, will they be better? Undoubtedly. They're the first team I saw. I was there over the weekend in one of the early practices because they have a week 0 game. It's on NBC against San Jose State in a couple weeks. And they look different, like majority of positions are competitive. I like to say like in a Tuesday practice, you don't know if you're going to start. And that's how it was when I was coaching in SC. Even at quarterback, you never felt comfortable. Every day was you're competing for your job, which made Saturdays so easy. I was just talking to Coach Carroll about that yesterday of like how competitive it was and how I think SC is getting closer there. I'd say the majority of position groups have that. So yeah, they got a chance. I think they will take that next step, but they got to get one of those. They got to win 2 of those games I just referenced. They got to beat Ohio State or Oregon or Indiana. I think if you lose to those 3, we'd presume those 3 are going to the playoff. At some point we got to have play-in games or play-out games. I think in conference play, even though the playoff keeps expanding. So I think they got to get one of those. And I think it's really hard in this league to win them all. So yeah, did they make a next step? I think they will. If they don't, is it a failure? No, because this freshman class, for whatever it's worth, they were some of the better players I saw when I went out in the spring, when I went out in training camp. I mean, there's some difference makers at a bunch of positions.
Mm-hmm.
Yogi, we just spent the last, 30 minutes debating the coaches poll that just went out. And of course, you look at the top 25 preseason poll from last year, you can certainly see that, a lot of the times it doesn't actually reflect how the final standings are. But I do think they're kind of interesting. How do you treat these preseason polls?
Not much, other than asking the producer, hey, which one do we want to reference in the broadcast?
Just like us.
Like AP poll or coaches poll. But I do think that there's a bunch of, I just went on the internet and I saw a buddy of mine tweet something out, Peter Burns in the SEC, and he got smoked on it because it was like in one poll, the SEC played a team that had 5 or 6 wins, and or 5 teams played teams with 5 or 6. I think 5 teams played teams that were ranked or something like that in the preseason poll. And in the Big Ten, he said that only 1 or 2 did. And it was like, well, in another poll, 6 teams did. And it was like all this jockeying. And I think that from being a guy who back in the day at the Pac-12, I used to present to the CFP committee on behalf of the league. And there is something to positioning. I hate to say it. Like it just is. Look at Indiana.
Yeah.
Now they're respected, but 2 years ago they were like,
Not.
everybody in the world was saying they don't belong there, and it was like, I think they proved that they did. So I don't know. I could care less about the polls, but I do think that there is something to that when it comes to positioning and the strength of a league and the strength of certain teams.
The Y option's a good option for you, and follow Yogi Roth at Yogi Roth on all the socials. He joins us here on The Drive. So does the power stay with the Big Ten this year, Yogi?
I don't know. I think that the league is loaded. I think that so many things impact the championship run. Like Fernando is the easy, low-hanging fruit. Nobody thought that he would be what he was last year. And nobody knows what Iowa's quarterback's last name is right now because there's 2 guys competing for it.
Yeah.
And they're a hell of a team that could go win 10 games and be a real tough out. So I think so. My eyes told me in the spring, the 2 best teams my eyes saw for one practice was Oregon and Notre Dame. They were the 2 top teams, and I visited Ohio State, and that was in April. What does that mean? Nothing. Right now, I'm going to go visit a bunch of the top ones over the next 20 days. Can't wait, and it'll be one practice, and we'll see. Do I think that the talent level in this league is superior to any other league at the positions that matter most? I do. I think when you look at the quarterbacks, you can go, you don't even have to say their whole name. You go Julian, got it. Dante, got it. Hoover, yep. Like you can, that's different. And then the coaching is what I just, as an analyst, cannot wait for because you added what I'd say are 4 Hall of Fame caliber resumes. Kyle Whittingham, Matt Campbell, Bob Chesney, and then at Michigan State and Pat Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
And then you look at the coordinators. Like I just think that part, it's NFL light. I can't wait to go watch what Michigan and Bryce Underwood are going to do offensively. And then I'm going to go watch Alisio Milivojevic do something completely different. Right. And then I'm going to come out and I'm going to go watch Minnesota and Jake Lindsey, who's might be in 5 years, him and Malik Washington might be the best quarterbacks among all of them in the league in the NFL when they get there. So yeah, I think it's the best league. The fans are getting it more and more rabid because I think they've just been annoyed with what happens in the South, which, me, I can appreciate that more than a lot of people. So we'll see. But I'd love to see all Big Ten title and also love to see Kalen DeBoer win because he's a friend and I want him to do well. So who knows?
Yogi, you were at USC when those players were celebrities. And I look at Dante Moore coming back and the decision to come back, and turning down an NFL money, and then he gets a big NIL deal, and he was part of this trip to Japan with Oregon. I don't know if you saw, but 2 weeks ago, Zach Bryan was on stage in Eugene, and they brought Dante Moore out to sing and dance with him. He's kind of playing this, I don't want to say the Matt Leinart role, but there's been a whole lot of hype going into it. But it feels like every time then you see him come out on media day, there's not a lot of flash with it. He seems like, and I know you've interacted with him quite a bit, a guy who can kind of take all this in and enjoy it, but also at the same time not get overwhelmed by it.
Yeah, I did a long interview with him on NBC that'll come out, and it was awesome, man. I mean, he got emotional a couple times, just talking about and reflecting back on his path, and then those have been there for him along the way, and the conversation really centered on the idea that I think he's extremely rare, like rare to leave Big Ten, a la Michigan or Ohio State country to go to UCLA. Rare to say after he was starting as a freshman, I need to go sit and wait. I mean, he and I have had these conversations for years now. Rare to say I'm going to pass a $50+ million and come on back because of how I felt after we lost to Indiana. Because as he said, quote, I want to win one for Phil, as in, of course, Phil Knight. I just think that he's so rare. He really is a unicorn in this era of college football. And then you add in and layer in, as we talked about, like his life. And you would assume of all people, if I gave you the beats in his life of how he grew up, where he grew up, what he went through, you'd be like, yeah, he's going to the NFL. I played with guys like that. I've coached players like that. I've broadcast dozens and dozens of players who said, yeah, I'd love to come back, but I got to go. I think that he just recognizes in a really clear manner the opportunity to do something special in Eugene. And he loves the people he's around. He knows he's being developed. You guys know how I feel about Dan Lanning. I think he's as gifted as a motivator, coach, leader, confidant as there is in the game. And I just feel what he and Mateo and Tatum, and you get on the list of players who chose to return, Amari Washington, Poncho, they got this mission. And I hope they complete it. I really do. And who knows, to the point of we don't know how the ball bounces and you got to stay healthy. But I think he's going to come out and play with a freedom and a confidence that he's just never had before. And I felt that interviewing him in media days and spending time with him and watching him interact. And he's a special, rare human being who gets to play quarterback at Oregon. And he doesn't miss how special that is. I mean, we talked about the Joey Harrington, Joey Heisman, Bo Nix, and then him, at the square in Tokyo, which I was at this spring with my family. It's amazing. And to see that up there, and he's just like, I just started crying, and I was like, oh my God, how cool is this? So I don't think it's lost on him, and I don't think it's gone to his head by any stretch of the imagination.
And there's a lot of excitement here in Eugene, and you just mentioned a lot of the reasons why. I wouldn't say, I'm not going to personally say it's national championship or bust, but certainly I think there's an understanding that there is an opportunity here for Oregon. What do you look at as the determining factor for the Ducks as they try to complete that goal?
Well, it's going to be execution late in games. I mean, they're not going to roll everybody by 30. That's just not what this league is, So that's what it's going to be. So here's a story of back in the day, and I love this conversation. I can remember talking to coaches on I'm going to butcher it, but maybe like 2013, 2014 staff, like the teams that Marcus's years, and I've had this conversation with a lot of coaches of premier teams. And I think when coaching staffs or programs they have that goal in front of them, more often than not, when they compete in a ball game, after the game, if they win, they go into a bucket that I call quote unquote exhale wins, meaning exhale, glad we got it done. Kind of like you survive in advance. And my personal belief, and the way that I was trained as a 20-something-year-old coach and have been a disciple of Coach Carroll's, is like, that is not how the best teams play at peak performance consistently. That's just not how they do it. You have to go celebrate the moment. You have to run towards the opportunity in the game. You have to not play scared or you have to attack. And thankfully, that's Dan Lanning. I mean, go to YouTube and just put his name in. Like, that is exactly who he is, with a very strategic style about him. He's not frivolous, right? Like, he's not all over the place in that regard. It's very detailed. So that's the biggest thing is, can this team, when the pressure mounts and everybody feels it, and a freshman offensive line who might be playing feels it, or a second-year corner might feel it, or your whomever it is, because they'll all feel it in different ways. And especially now, when you compound the transactional nature in recruiting and retaining of rosters and just the money involved, to be blunt, navigating that is going to be the biggest challenge of, do they become XL wins? They're like, hell yeah, we only get 12 of these things. Let's roll. That's what I'll be watching. That is, and I think you can see it. I think you can see it in body language. I think you can see it in post-game press conferences. I think you can see it, obviously, when you're on campus. And that's the difference, and that's why it's hard to win in LA. So nobody's won since Pete, other than 1 year with Clay Helton for the most part. And Lincoln had that first year that was magical. You got to feel like you're kind of playing with house money a little bit. And I think that's when the best can be their best.
Follow him on the socials at Yogi Roth. Subscribe to the Y Option, and you can see him on the screen this fall. It's the great Yogi Roth. He's our governor. Yogi, thanks for the time today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and your insight and the way you can peel it back and get to the player's perspective is awesome for us. So thanks.
Oh, brother, anytime. Enjoy the weekend. take some time this weekend and watch. I got a feeling Larry Fitzgerald's speech is going to be money, inspire everybody all across this country who loves football. So be keyed into that, man. I'll be the guy in the very far back right, wiping a bunch of tears away. So if you're looking for somebody in the stand, that's where I'll be. Okay.
I'll send you some extra Kleenex. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Yogi.
All right, bro.
All right, there he goes. The great Yogi Roth here on the program. All right, when we come back, so we got Justin. We're behind.
I know.
We got to get a couple of breaks in. So really quick, we're just gonna talk about the Pac-12 Mountain West getting to a settlement, which will take us like 2 minutes, and then we can get another break in before the top of the hour here on The Drive.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really. But you miss a minute of The Drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on 102.9 FM and 1050 AM. The Sports Animal.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since '48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
It kind of sneaks up on you. You're more tired than you should be, a little less focused, a little less motivated, and you've gained a little weight. It's normal. A lot of men experience it, but that doesn't mean you have to live with it. At Hale Men's Clinic, personalized testosterone therapy can help you restore your energy, your clarity, your edge. Real solutions, real results. Hale Men's Clinic. Feel good now. Curious about your levels? Walk into Hale Men's Clinic in Eugene, Bend, or Roseburg for your free testosterone test today. More info at halemensclinic.com.
Even though the weather is getting warmer, many people in our community are still vulnerable and need your help. Raven, Radical Assistance for Vulnerable Eugene Neighbors, is seeking donations to help those who need it most. Raven is asking for help with water bottles, raincoats, socks, shoes, blankets, tarps, and camping gear, or even a direct cash donation. Donations can be made at Raven distribution sites or via GoFundMe. For more information, visit our website, raveneugene.org. That's RAVEN, Eugene.org.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number DC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debts may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Hey drivers, it's Joey Logano, driver to number 22 Discount Tire Ford Mustang Dark Horse in the NASCAR Cup Series. I've got a quick reminder that's essential to keeping you safe on the road. Check your tire pressures. Underinflated tires can fail when you least expect it and cost you more at the pump. Test your tires at least once a month or swing by a local tire retailer for an air check. A little time now can help keep you rolling safely.
A message from the U.S. Tire Manufacturers Association.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
So I give Goose a check, and all of a sudden he checks out. That's what happens. So we no Goose for a really quick segment.
Would you say that he's on his final countdown?
Love it. That a boy. All right. Hey, I'm going to show this to everybody.
Pretty cool.
This right here is Len. If you're watching on YouTube right now, this is Len Casanova on the sidelines at Hayward Field. This was taken by my wife's grandfather, who was a photographer for the Register Guard. Oh, here's Goose. You don't have to talk, Goose. He's going to walk back in. Don't worry about it, because we're going to be out in like 2 minutes here. The Pac-12 Mountain West have reached a settlement in their lengthy legal dispute over exit fees and so-called poaching penalties, ending a court fight that reshaped the future of both the leagues. And
mercilessly it ends, because let's face it, it's
and
nobody cares about it. At least for the two schools now, they can both, or the two conferences, they can now go their own separate ways and stop fighting. But it felt like this was not a soap opera that I was following minute by minute.
By the way, this was not Hayward, the line Casanova. It was, my wife's telling me it was Bolton Noma Stadium.
Where's that?
I don't know. You got to look it up.
Got to figure it out.
When we
I
come
guess.
back next hour here on The Drive, we've got
Eric Scopel.
Yeah, Eric Scopel, the great Scopeldamus, joins us top of the hour. Stay tuned.
Nothing is too big for the sports animal to handle. That's what she said. You're home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and The Drive with Danny, Steve, and Justin from 3 to 6. This is the sports animal.
Gary Shop Talk.
Sharon?
Yeah, Dad.
Is that big anniversary sale still going on at Jerry's?
Well, it sure is now through Friday.
Oh, that's good.
You'll find hundreds of items on sale at incredibly low prices.
Yeah.
And you could win one of 10 Jerry's gift cards for $650 each.
I always knew you were gifted.
Thanks, Dad. Learn more at betterheadforjerrys.com.
Oh, I sure will.
Or better yet, come on in.
Uh-huh. Hey, who's that singing? Is your mother there?
Gary Shop Talk.
Sharon?
Yeah, Dad.
Is that big anniversary sale still going on at Jerry's?
Well, it sure is now through Friday.
Oh, that's good.
You'll find hundreds of items on sale at incredibly low prices.
Yeah.
And you could win one of 10 Jerry's gift cards for $650 each.
I always knew you were gifted.
Thanks, Dad. Learn more at betterheadforjerrys.com.
Oh, I sure will.
Or better yet, come on in.
Uh-huh. Hey, who's that singing? Is your mother there?
Think your child might have swallowed the wrong medication, gotten into your household products, had a reaction to a bite or a sting? Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Times of transition, whether from a sad event or a joyful one, can leave us feeling adrift. Social connections become even more important.
1050 AM, 1029 FM, and the sportsanimaleugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Summer, the sun, the sand. How could things be any better? Actually, you know what sounds kind of good? Chicken bones. Yeah, that would make things better. All you could eat wings for $27.95 and dollar beers from Cold Fire Cold Store? That would really make things better. Ooh, and the sauces. The sauces are to die for. In fact, now I'm kind of hungry. Oh man, now I need to go to Chicken Bones.
Make no bones about it. Chicken Bones has the best wings in Lane County. All you can eat wings, great sauces, and awesome burgers. Open daily at 11 a.m. on Pioneer Parkway in the Safeway Center. Check us out on Facebook or call 541-726-0111. That's 541-726-0111. Chicken Bones, chicken with an attitude.
Hi, this is Drew from Dalton Carpet on West 11th in Eugene. Dalton Carpet is family owned and operated and proud to serve you for 30 years. Now more than ever, someone you know is walking on a Dalton floor. Do you have a flooring project? Get your summer off to a new start. Lane County's best selection with hundreds of rolls of carpet and thousands of feet of click-together flooring on display and in stock right now at unbeatable prices. Come see us today at Dalton Carpet, right here on West 11th in Eugene.
Get on board. The water is open. It's time to go boating and fishing and leave stress in our wake. Feel the wind as we ride and a fish on the line. Reel in our first catch and feel the sun at our back. It's get out on the water season. It's time to get on board. Find out where to get on board near you. Visit Take Me Fishing and Discover Boating to learn more. And please recreate responsibly. Get on board. Get on board.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew. So here we go. First day on the job. Got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogthink.org.
KORE Springfield, Eugene, 1050 AM. Translated on 275CX 1029 FM. This is the Sports Animal Eugene.
Geez, I got goose bouncing to the music here. On the drive, welcome back in, friends. Sports Animal here up and down the valley, the #1 sports talk station in the valley. Thanks for joining us for hour number 2, 1 hour and 4 minutes away from Dodgers and Cubs, and Tarek Skubal in the Dodgers uniform, Big Blue, as the Cubs took care of the Dodgers last night at Wrigley. So we'll see what happens tonight. I'm not, expecting anything magical to happen, because if I say something, it's gonna.
Well, can I just say real quick?
Here it comes. Go ahead.
Goose, Cowboys are usually America's team. Tonight, I think we know who America's team is going to be. It's going to be the Chicago Cubs.
Goose, you have any comment? You have any retort?
Nope. I want to talk college football.
Okay, good. Eric Scopel, the great Scopel-Damas, Odds and Audibles, covers football, women's basketball. He's a beat writer, Duck Territory. He's our good friend from 24/7 Sports, and he joins us right now here on The Drive. Scopel-Damas, look at you, man. You're looking tight, man. I love the high haircut, by the way.
You catch me in all sort of arrays of the haircut process. And I think this is the most recently I've had a haircut since you've seen me. So this is not unusual. I just think you catch me week 3 rather than week 1.
Okay.
Got that training cut clean, training cut shave to get ready for camp.
Awesome. Had to have it done last week. Had to be done on Friday.
Absolutely.
All right. So you were at Media Days for Oregon locally yesterday. So does this feel different this year than other years under Dan Lanning?
Yes and no. As somebody who's done probably over a dozen of these, they all kind of rolled together. I do think the messaging feels like they have their chest out.
Yeah.
And we saw that reflected today in the USA Today coaches poll, number 2 preseason behind Ohio State. I think what we saw yesterday kind of reflects a team that feels like they belong in that kind of conversation. And that's not necessarily to say the past couple of years didn't kind of feel that way, but the word hungry got thrown around a lot yesterday, and you kind of sense that wasn't just coach speak. Like the players to a man basically conveyed like this year is about one thing and one thing only. we all know what that is. Like, you could look through the checklist of things Oregon football has achieved in its history, checked every box but basically one, and that one thing is what everyone's striving for. So I think all these media days feel the same. They're all kind of set up the same, but in terms of just like maybe the content and kind of the way everybody was conveying confidence, felt maybe a little bit different, a little amped up even from maybe the last couple of years.
Eric, did you hear anything at Media Day outside of cliches that you thought, hey, that actually could have something that I wasn't thinking about that could impact this season, or was it 100% cliches?
Gosh, I can't say. If I say it's 100% cliches, I'm going to get the call from Nate Kruger being like,
I don't want to get you in trouble with Nate. No.
No. That's a good question, Steve. I think the things that stand out for me in all of these is like the peer-to-peer kind of reflections and assessments. And so like I take it like it's an honest assessment when like a senior says, like, for example, like Poncho points out like he thinks Tommy Toffee is like ready to roll, and he's taken big strides from where he saw him in the spring game last.
Nice.
Like that kind of thing resonates to me, right? When Kavika Rogers is comparing Drew Maringer to Albert Einstein, I'm probably a little less inclined to buy it. But that's not to say that I think he lacks respect for his offensive coordinator. But I do remember it.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's kind of the funny part of it is you asked me, like, do things not come off as coach speak? But a lot of times the things that kind of are framed that way, to Justin's point, are the things that stick with me. Because the Albert Einstein line was the thing I was telling people about coming out of it. So, no, and I think another thing to kind of attach to that is the player assessments. I think, like, I really bought what Dylan Raiola and Evan Stewart said about kind of like their own journeys, the own paths that they're on, like the progress that they're making. Like, I think Raiola is going to be somebody who we look back at and feel like maybe he was misconstrued or misunderstood at Nebraska, or maybe it's just something that's going on here. But he felt real and genuine to me in terms of like his candor and his desire to like to make the most of this opportunity. And like, you just got a sense like there's a person there. It's not just a guy putting on the Mahomes look and kind of doing his impression. And similarly, like Evan Stewart, last time he did a media day was before the 24 season because he was out all last year.
Right.
Like, I remember in 24, like the whole thing was basically him being like, A&M was a mess. They didn't have good quarterbacks. Like, they didn't do a good job surrounding me in the offense with the right talent. This was all about like the Oregon team and like, what can we do to make the most of it? Like, I know I benefit from it, but so like, I think things like that probably stand out most as non-coach speak, although Albert Einstein of offense is probably going to be one that I don't forget about.
Do you believe, though, that Evan Stewart had the greatest offseason in the history of off seasons?
No, but I think he believes he's had his greatest offseason. But yeah, I think there's probably somewhere out there an athlete who's done better somewhere along the line.
Probably. How do you feel about the way that all these offensive skill position players are going to fit together?
I'm super. I mean, this is the part that, and I'm going to definitely get a call from Nate Kruger. We used to get practice access, and did I just love sitting down and watching like the first couple of 11-on-11 sessions we could
Don't
get.
have that now. You're done.
Don't get that.
Nobody watched that like Scopel. You should see that notebook and Scopel.
really?
He was like every.
Man.
He had the
How many
depth chart.
notepads? How
It
many
took him
notepads you go
2
through?
minutes. 2 minutes of watching, and he had a 2-deep depth chart.
Wow, look at you.
That was a skill set I don't know if I still possess it because I'm rusty as heck because it's been 3 years. But to your point, Joe, I want to watch these guys. I want to see how it all fits together. And like, there are points of curiosity. Obviously, like we think Dante is a Heisman Trophy caliber player. He spoke and carried himself like one yesterday, I thought. We know all these receivers and like the talent they have there. We know the running backs to bring back. Obviously, there's questions on the offensive line. I just want to see how it all fits because they almost have too many good players, and I mean that in a good way, but like Iverson Hooks had like 1,000 yards receiving at UAB last year. And like, I'm not convinced he's like going to play more than 10, 15 snaps per game because I don't think they need him when you have DeCorian Moore, Evan Stewart, Jeremiah McClellan, Jamari Johnson, probably, flexing out wide. I'm fascinated by how it's all going to come together. And certainly like you come away from a day like yesterday being even more excited.
The great Scopel Damas. You can follow him, Eric_Scopel with a K on the socials. You can listen to him on Duck Audibles, and he's here with us on The Drive. It is the sportsanimal.eug.com and also out there on the coast, Fox Sports Newport. So, Eric, you used an interesting phrase there, and I'm interested to hear what you think about how Dan Lanning has pulled together other pieces, like you just talked about, Iverson and such, into the mix, because it's one of those things where you have to find a good blend of talent that you already have and the talent you're going to bring in. And the transfer portal is, it works sometimes and it doesn't work other times. So what's your impression about what Dan Lanning and his staff is bringing in to augment what they already have?
Yeah, I think it's reflective of what we saw happen like the second week of January when everyone came back, right? Or a lot of these key players came back, whether it be the entire defensive line, whether it be, Dante obviously being a big name there. A couple players, Poncho had a decision to make. I think he made it in December. But like, regardless, there was kind of this, I liken it to what Ohio State had a couple of years ago, where just a lot of guys who were draft eligible said, hey, to heck with it. I want one last opportunity to do this thing. And I'm not saying Oregon's going to necessarily follow through the same way, but Oregon brought back whatever it is. I think it's 15 or 16 starters off of last year's team. And so the portal additions felt a little bit more, not that they weren't intentional before, but they were very like targeted, right? And so like you lose Dylan Thieneman, hey, let's go get the best safety transfer in the country.
Corey Parrish. Yeah.
Corey Parrish.
Go get him. Right.
Super impressive kid. Really have enjoyed getting to know him. The opportunities we've had. I thought he was great yesterday. Curious to see what he looks like. Like the offensive line is, to me, though, the one where they did have turnover. Like they lose the majority of their starters. They lose 3 guys. And that was a big talking point, certainly yesterday. It's been a talking point all offseason of like, was that the right call? Should they not have maybe paid up, gone out there and gotten one of these big names who was in the portal? And instead they've relied upon development, which is, I think, counter to what you would expect from a school like Oregon that seemingly has big pockets. But I also think that speaks to the fact that Lanning understands, like, if you just go to the portal every time you need a starter and you plug and play a guy, at some point the prep recruits are going like, what am I waiting for here if you're just going to continue to bring in an older guy over and over again? And not only are you going to probably lose your own players to the transfer portal, but you're going to end up not
Turn
getting
away.
Yeah, you're going to get turned away by some top recruits. So the offensive line to me is the one point I'm really curious about. They brought in Michael Bennett III from Yale, who I think at best case is like, a serviceable right tackle, but like I think there's a chance he doesn't play. And I think that's because of the Tommy Tofi's, a name I mentioned earlier,
Really?
the Emmanuel Ihanachos, the Douglas Utus, some of these younger players, Fox Crater being somebody, Janoris Wilson, a guy who we've seen a little bit more. Like I'm not predicting it necessarily. I think Landon made it very clear yesterday, like so much is still to be determined. Like we got to get through this fall camp, but they bring in a guy like Michael Bennett, who you go, hey, I think all Ivy League first team twice. Like this should be a surefire guy. I don't even know if they necessarily need him to be, based upon what you're hearing. Some of the development has been behind the scenes from a couple of these young tackles in particular.
Yeah, the line from Lanning yesterday about we might play up to 8 seemed to scare some people, and the reaction was, hey, we don't have
There's some people
5,
that didn't
and the
like
others.
that.
And the other side says, hey, we have a lot of depth. Did you take it to mean, hey, we don't have 5, or hey, we have a lot of depth?
No, I knew that comment was going to frustrate people, because I remember when Mario Cristobal decided for an entire season to rotate like 6 years ago, it drove everybody nuts because there was like every other series they're rotating guys in. I think if they do end up playing 8 actually to start the season, I would be genuinely not enthusiastic about what that says about everything. I think you'd like to see players emerge. I think if there's like a 6th guy, I think if it's like a 6th player and it's just one player you're kind of rotating, maybe you don't feel like you've identified who your best right tackle or left guard is, and you're just in a competition for the first couple of games and then it settles in. I think to me that feels a little bit more acceptable is probably the wrong word, but like that feels like you'd be more comfortable with that. But if it really is 8 guys, I genuinely don't like 8 guys. I think if it's just like if it's one extra player you're kind of getting in the mix here at a specific spot, that's a little more encouraging. But I definitely am not. That was all before they've even started fall camp, just conveying the fact that things are wide open. That was my take, more so than it was a prediction that we're going to incorporate 6, 7, 8 guys once we start playing in September. That's how I took it.
First 4 games of the season for Oregon: against Boise State at Autzen, at Oklahoma State, at home against Portland State, and then at USC. Is it going to take until that game against USC to learn anything about this team?
Yeah, they're probably. And one thing I should note though, that I don't know if it was surprising to me, but maybe to some, that both Boise State and Oklahoma State got votes in today's coaches poll. I mean, Oklahoma State won one game last year, and Oregon beat them. Was it 69-3?
The power of the portal, though, right? Bring in a coach and he brings his quarterback, and suddenly your stock's on the rise.
So maybe we need to pay a little more attention to that game in Stillwater in particular, because you brought up Drew Mestemaker, the quarterback, but they also brought in like the entire North Texas offense and defense, and I think that team won 10 or 11 games last year. At a lower level, but yeah, I think USC is going to be the first time you really see them go up against elite like athletes on the outside. And I think that's going to be telling, because when I look at the rest of the schedule, like I think we all zero in on what today would be 1 versus 2. And you're starting to think, what can Oregon do to deter Jeremiah Smith? And not that the whole season has to boil down to it, but I look at it and go, USC is the first test there where you can actually kind of like simulate a little bit of what you might see in November, just because of what their history is with athletes and Lincoln Riley's offense, where they like to chuck it all over the place. And Jade Mayava's a proven quarterback. But I think one thing I will say, it's a good question, is that I think that game in Stillwater is going to be important for kind of getting the road side of these things out, especially as we're in the context of talking about this offensive line, which could be featuring a couple of first-time starters, maybe even a true freshman. Like, it's going to be good for them to have played on the road, I think, against Oklahoma State before they play, in the Coliseum.
Eric Skopel joining us as we talk about Oregon's Media Day back home after they had the Big Ten Media Day, where they were up on the podium with just a couple of players and Coach Lanning. As we get into this season, which is coming up, we're less than a month away, boys, before, actually almost a month away. I got to be, accurate when we come to
23 days away from week 0, I believe, though.
Okay, but when Oregon starts playing. So what's the ceiling, Eric, for Oregon? Is it national championship or bust?
Does it feel weird that I think that's probably what the answer should be? Just based upon what
No, that's why I'm asking it, though.
Well, and I guess it was funny because I did my predicting the schedule article probably about 10 days ago, and I predicted 12-0. And the response was less mixed than I thought, and more just people like, don't you dare do this to me again. Don't predict they're going to win all their games. We've seen this movie before. And so I got a lot of pushback on that. So it's kind of made me want to like question, maybe I'm a little too bullish, but like, I think the coaches poll says a lot. I think we'll see 24/7 Sports. We do the team talent composite, and that just puts together, based on recruiting ranking, who has the most talented roster. I think that's coming out like about a week or so from now. I haven't seen the data. I'm anticipating Oregon is going to be top 3 or 4 in that. And my point is, if your roster is this good, if your roster is good enough, you can start second in the country in the preseason poll. Your roster is good enough where you're a top 3 or 4 roster using recruiting rankings, which I think it will be, then I think national championship needs to be the expectation, especially when you're a program that's been where Oregon's been, where you were the number 1 seed in this tournament a couple of years ago, where you were in the semifinals last year. Like Oregon's been, those weren't aberrations. Like this feels like something building. And to the point I made earlier, like when you bring all these dudes back and they're like, hey, we're in for this. If they get bounced early or they don't make the playoff or something like that, I think there's going to be a lot of question marks and people going like something structurally may be wrong here that we need to look at. But yeah, I think that's where I'm at least.
So, it's the stair step, right? It's that's what it's been with Dan Lanning. It's the one step and the next step and the next step. And last year it was the semifinal. So what's the next step? There's only one more step to get up to, actually 2, get to the national championship game, then win it. But that's the progression, and anything else is a backward. It's a downturn.
Yeah, and to speak to, I think some like when the fans respond to the 12-0 prediction and say that's ludicrous, or this team's not going to do that, I go find the losses, and I look at the national kind of the makeup of this season, and I don't see clear fire heavyweight. Nobody can beat this team out there. Yeah. And maybe somebody's going to emerge. Like Indiana was not on our radar last year. They ran the table. They looked awesome. They were deserving. Maybe that's going to be so. Could be Oregon, but somebody maybe emerges as we get into the season. But as you just kind of look at this and you go, well, I don't think Oregon should be number 2. Well, pick the order ahead of them and tell me why those teams are more deserving. And I don't know if there's really a case for like 3 or 4 teams being better than them right now.
Well, and I agree, and nobody's overlooking Oregon on their schedule. They're not looking at Oregon and going, well, that one's going to be a win, or that one, that's not going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see. First month of the season, you got that big test down at Memorial Coliseum with USC. That's going to be the big one for me. That's going to be the big one for Oregon at the end of the month.
So we're just scooting right over Boise State. We don't have any concern about Oregon State, Boise State coming into Autzen, because that's always been such an easy win for Oregon.
No,
Okay.
17-14, that's fine. Get out of there. It's just like with you on your golf card. It doesn't matter when you register the par how you got there, right?
All right.
That's scorecard doesn't lie. All right. Hey, Scopel, thanks, buddy. We appreciate you. Scopel Damas, always here on the program. And come back to the drive whenever you feel like it. You're going to be a regular. So thanks for hanging out.
And congratulations on this station being your guys' baby now. That's exciting. I just got notified of this not that long ago, and I was like, good job, guys. There we go.
There we go.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you, bud.
Thanks, bud.
Appreciate
All right,
it. Always. The great Scopel Damas here on the drive. Let's take a break. When we come back, what are we going to talk about? What do you want to talk about, Baby J? UVO hoops commit I see on the schedule here. Congress and sport. I don't want to talk about Congress. Can we?
Goose was the one that wanted me to put that on the menu.
Okay, that's
so.
fine. We'll talk about Congress.
We can relate it to the UO hoops commit that just happened yesterday too. So
I need to go take a Xanax.
we lost Goose on the stream.
That's all right. That's fine. He ducked out. He has business to do.
He pulled a Isaiah Thomas.
When we come back, it's the drive. Thanks for tuning in. It is Fox Sports Newport and in the Willamette Valley on the Sports Animal.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not real. But you miss a minute of the drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The drive is back on 102.9 FM and 1050 AM. The Sports Animal.
Running a business means taking care of everyone else, employees, customers, and your community. But who's looking out for your future? Your Eugene area Edward Jones advisors understand what's important to you, from your business goals to your family's needs, and help you create a strategy that keeps your financial life organized and on track. Your Eugene area Edward Jones advisors. Let's start the conversation. To locate the Edward Jones financial advisor nearest you, visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Almost every car made over the last 10 years has a camera. Did you know that when you replace a windshield, the camera needs recalibrated? If your glass provider doesn't fix the camera, you could have issues with safety features like forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control, or emergency braking. Don't trust some guy in a truck to fix or replace your windshield and then have to make a second appointment to calibrate your camera. You need Olson's Auto Glass, 2041 West 7th Avenue in Eugene. Olson's Auto Glass, repairing windshields since 1938.
And I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, I wanted to get back in the game. So I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Oregon at highschoolofficials.com.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people. Without destroying your credit, they can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number DC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. The truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
This is the part of the program where I let Baby J and Goose take over, and I just sit back and relax. Thanks for tuning into The Drive, wherever and however. We appreciate you, kids. Up and down the Willamette Valley on the #1 sports station in the valley. It's the Sports Animal, 102.9 FM, 1050 AM. I feel it's redundant when I have to say that, because if you're listening to us over the air, you already know that because you're already locked in. But online, sportsanimalEUG.com. I've encouraged my staff to go look at the new website because it keeps adding things in. And I'm very proud of the job that Devin and Deanna have done from Uplink Spider on our website. Local people. I'm all about local. We're going to have a big announcement tomorrow. You want to be tuned in tomorrow on the program. One, Goose is not going to be here. I'm sorry, because he takes his Wednesdays off for the rest of the summer with his wife Kim, because they're drinking wine and playing golf.
Correct.
At Oakway.
That was part of the deal to get me
Yes.
to do this. Was I'm
Yeah.
not going to be taking Wednesdays until the
I know
Oakway Wednesday deal is over.
I gave you a check
I know,
already.
I know.
Very
Okay.
publicly.
Very publicly.
Yeah. And then Baby J's going to be here. We're going to bring
Always
in
here.
We're going to bring in Brian Beban.
Nice.
We got to give him. So there's some debate about nickname for Brian. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But we're going to have some folks in the studio tomorrow. So you want to stay tuned for tomorrow. It's going to be a big show tomorrow.
I didn't realize you allowed debate for nicknames.
What now?
I said I didn't know that you allowed debate for nicknames.
There's no debate, but so the debate is between Brian and I about what his nickname's going to be. Because I
didn't know that you allowed that.
No, but he can't pick his own nickname. You can't pick your own
Can't pick your own
nickname.
nickname. Can't pick your own nickname.
That's like the first
Yeah,
rule.
right.
Yeah.
That's the first rule of
The first
Fight
and
Club.
pretty much only rule.
The
That's
first
correct.
rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Had a good buddy who some people would know, and he was like, and I hadn't seen him. I'm like, hey, Chris, and he's like, they call me Voodoo now. I'm like, I don't call you Voodoo. if somebody else calls you Voodoo, you're new friends. That's cool, but you're still Chris to me unless there's a reason to call you Voodoo. Awesome. So I haven't called him Voodoo since.
All right. So Congress in sports, U of O hoops commit. This ties in according to you, Goose.
Correct.
So,
So-
talk to me.
Yesterday, Oregon men's basketball added a recruit, Malik Ewan.
Okay.
6'10" forward from Arkansas last year, averaged 9.8 points, 5.7 rebounds. Pretty good
For?
get for Arkansas last year.
Okay. All right.
So his college journey began as a freshman at Ole Miss.
Okay.
It continued the next year in junior college.
Bouncing around.
Continued the next year at Florida State.
Okay.
Continued the next
3.
year at Arkansas.
That's 4.
So that's
schools.
4, which under NC2A rules would mean your eligibility is up.
Right.
But we saw where last week this Colorado court came in, because now they're giving all the past players 5 for 5.
Yeah.
So they're getting lawsuits from people who would have been seniors or 4th year last year, 2022 recruits saying, hey, this isn't fair that these other people are getting 5 and we're not. So that's been the lawsuit.
Okay.
So Malik Ewan is one of those folks. So as we talk about, he would be 5 schools, 5 years, but he is part of this group suing to get that extra year. So Oregon technically signed him. I mean, I don't know if they've signed him yet, but the reports are that he's committed and will be here. But I believe that court ruling is being appealed. So they technically have him, but we're waiting for the courts to come back, and it could be overturned, and the courts could say, no, we're not allowing the 2022s back. We're just we're not grandfathering in the folks who had already graduated. And there's a whole lot of people. Donovan Dent, who was UCLA's point guard last year, Gonzaga's point guard just left. Apparently, they're going to bring him up there, but he's one of these. So we're waiting, it's like everything in college football these days, for the courts. But the courts will likely determine whether or not Malik Ewan can play for Oregon and get a 5th year, or if he has to not get that.
So is that a hole now? If Dana
No,
Allman
'cause I
can't
think
get
no, because all
get
these
him?
folks now that just became eligible, coaches had their rosters set. These rosters have been set for months now, weeks at least. And
So
now
this
when
was
this
a late
ruling came,
ad.
now it's late ads. So now,
Okay.
and there's been controversies to where I've seen some reporters saying, "Hey, I'm talking to coaches who are like, hey, we promised these kids on our roster something, but now some other kids are popping up, and we're having to tell them, hey, sorry, but we're bringing somebody else in as well." So this is an ad. Dana, this is sort of a bonus addition if you can get him. But no, this wouldn't be something to where you bring, and I'm sure Dana knows in getting him to commit that there's still some courts up to this. So it's sort of a, hey, we'll take a shot on him if we can have him, but if he goes away, we still have the
So
the
give
guys
me
we
his
have.
give me his height again and
6'10", average
So he's
9.8 points.
that's what Oregon needs right now is a big man, because we talked about this before. They've got a lot of guards and they've got some wings and they've got maybe a 3 and a 4. They need somebody in the middle.
So call the judge. Tell the judge you like this ruling and you want this ruling to be kept up.
Baby J.
Well, they're benefited by being on a quarter system, right? Because they have more time until the season starts and before school starts.
That's a great point.
Benefited from
Meaning
until waiting to see.
being able to
Well,
be
I
admitted
bet you
to the
these guys
school.
in other schools would still just enroll, and then if they are turned
Look-
out, that
look-
it's
look at
overturned
who's
by
just
them. They all start-
squashing
no,
Come
no,
on,
they
man.
They all start practice the same time. I mean, it doesn't matter when you enroll in school. They all have the same amount of days to start
Okay,
practice.
that's
so that would
actually
be that late
not-
September date. But yeah, I mean, the player might be like, "Hey, I'm going to enroll at one of these early schools," and then if it's overturned, he's like, "I'm out of here. I didn't come here for the education."
So the
part."
question is, if he becomes ineligible, does Dana have that guy in the middle that he likes?
Well, I mean,
I
it's
don't think
the
so.
Same guy that he thought he had 2 weeks ago. So I mean, at this point, it's not like
Yeah,
this
you-
is somebody
it
who
was
you've
the
been
plan.
building around. So whatever he had, the plan was. Now you just bring in one more guy that could potentially be part of it.
Okay.
But this is getting to what Baby J was saying yesterday, that we are literally like in every sport, we're just sitting around waiting for, we're currently waiting on the Save College Sports Act.
Oh,
I just,
please.
I'm hoping that we can save
Don't
college
get
sports.
Congress
'cause I don't
involved
want
in
them.
anything.
Please.
But that's coming next. They're going to try to get this thing through. But again, we're seeing and Justin brought this up earlier. Indiana has a defensive end from last year who had expired at eligibility, 2022 recruit, played 4 years, true freshman all the way through. Doesn't get drafted, thinks his football career is over. Suddenly this thing comes in. Kurt Segnetti calls him up and says, hey, 22 tackles for loss last year. Have you been working out? If so, why don't you come on in?
Come on in.
I was looking at the Oregon roster when this thing broke. And, the kind of guy it would affect was the James Ferguson Reynolds, who was the
Right.
punter last
Punter.
year from Australia.
Ask Atticus Sappington as well. could
No,
come back.
Atticus,
No?
I looked. He redshirted.
Oh,
he
he
redshirted
did?
at Oregon
Oh, so
State.
he
He was
couldn't-
an Oregon State
okay.
redshirt, so he'd be 5 years. But like Ferguson didn't redshirt at Boise State, came to Oregon, according to his bio. So he'd have one more. So potentially, now I don't know how many football coaches are going to want to bring it. Now, I guess it was somebody really good. I mean, they'll bring somebody in, but if it's, your punter and you've already got somebody else, but we see at Indiana that, hey, suddenly a defensive lineman becomes available. I would guarantee you that most college football general manager at least checking some bios to see if there's maybe another piece they could bring in here. And again, we're just waiting on Congress is telling us who's eligible and who's not, and that's sort of college sports these days. If you don't have if you're a college football beat reporter and you don't have some connection to Congress,
You're
you're
lost.
not covering it the full way.
Right. Well, so this is sort of my point about nobody wants the government in things, but it seems like this would be one of those things where it would make sense to have some sort of universal decision making over this. Would it not?
It would. My bigger thing would be that nobody's scared of the NC2A right now. If you're a coach, you go out and break a rule because it's like if the NC2A catches us, first
No
off,
teeth?
we'll just sue them, and second off, they're probably not going to really do anything to us. If that coach at the same time is like, boy, by doing this, I might be breaking a federal law, it might be a little bit less likely to, have a little under the table type situation. Or hey, again, the NC2A is not going to catch what we're doing here. But if there's a feeling like, especially early on, if you think that these senators are sitting there just waiting for the first chance, and you're going to suddenly be under, it's kind of a Chauncey Billups type thing. You wake up one morning and suddenly the feds
Chauncey
are.
Billups. You threw a
I was-
Chauncey Billups
I was
reference
just
in
playing poker. I was just playing poker. No,
Oh
you're
my
coming in.
God.
I don't know if you're a college football coach, you want to risk that. So at least the enforcement arm being the federal government as opposed to that. But I'm with you. I don't want federal government in sports either.
No.
But at the same time, and I can't claim to have looked over the whole Protect Sports Act if there's a chance that you're kind of capping things, I'm not terribly against that. Especially they're talking about it being like 43 million, so we're not like taking the money from the players. But if we get to a point to where just everybody can't just say, well, we're just going to pay more, we're going to pay more, we're going to pay more. I'm not totally against that, but I don't know enough about the whole Save College Sports Act, except I certainly want to save college sports, which is nice for them to title it that. It's like the big, beautiful bill. I'm not going to vote against something big and beautiful. That sounds great. So sometimes we titled these things in an effort to get them through.
All I want Congress to do is Social Security, healthcare. Just take care of us. College sports, just leave it alone.
But it would
for a
be
second.
nice if college sports folks who ran it could take care of it well enough that it didn't get
right.
to this.
So we didn't have to think about
If we had
So
an NCAA with teeth that ran things the right way, this wouldn't have gotten to
If
Congress.
we have to kick it up to Congress, then that's
means you
the
failed.
problem.
You failed at
That
the
is
low road.
absolutely the problem. All right,
Correct.
we're going to take a break. We come back. SportsAnimalEUG.com. That's where you go for all of our socials. Lots of podcasts on there. You can find our podcast there as well. Goose. Baby J.
I'm gonna go make sure I'm registered to vote. I want to make sure that I have a say in how college sports survives.
Baby J and Doc, let's come back and let's talk about Mario Cristobal, our favorite subject here on The Drive.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Yeah. Can you pass me a Baja?
A what?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Try it. It's tropical at first. Then the lime flavor hits.
Oh, okay. It's crisp. Tastes like vacation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's mine now.
Have a Baja Blast.
Enjoy cool savings on Mountain Dew fountain drinks all summer long. Any size for just $1.50 at participating convenience stores.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
I've seen it, I've covered it. I'm Alex Rogers, your local farmer's agent in West Eugene. When you need auto, home, life, or business insurance, Farmers can help you protect everything you've worked so hard to achieve. I really enjoy what I do, and I can help you understand all your coverage options. When I'm your farmer's agent, you're not stuck at the mercy of some computer. I'm your advocate when you need help. Visit my office today at 1154 Garfield Street here in Eugene, or give me a call at 541-284-2804.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
I'm a wife and the mother of 2 kids, and I've got a good job.
Bye, Mom. See you, Mom.
A pretty important job. Because of my family and my job, I really care about this neighborhood. It's a good neighborhood. Yes, there's some crime. And when I drive to work, like now, I realize that some people here don't trust the police. So the police should be reaching out to this community, and this community should reach out to the police. That's the way to make this a safer place. And when I get to work in the precinct house and put on my uniform, I can tell you as a police officer that this department is reaching out to the community, and the community is doing its part. We're building partnerships. This should be happening everywhere. This is how we can all be safer. Get involved. Start the conversation.
Start the conversation and help stop crime. To learn the fine things you can do, go to ncpc.org/preventviolentcrime. A message from the National Crime Prevention Council and the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
So, who's going to do what? Flashlights?
Nowhere to be found.
Emergency supply kits?
Not packed.
Great. It sounds like we don't have a plan.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Visit ready.gov/kids and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
1050 AM, 1029 FM, and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
So we don't give you everything right off the top when we started this program, The Drive. Thanks for tuning in. On the coast at Fox Sports Newport, KNCU, and up and down I-5 on the Sports Animal, 102.9 FM, 1050 AM. Also online, you can go to our website, sportsanimalEUG.com. All the socials are there. You can stream us live there. We're going to start our contests next week, boys.
Ooh.
We're going to have different contests every single day of the week. We're also going to sign on. I'll just go ahead and reveal it now. We are going to sign on our first 2 affiliates in Klamath Falls and Roseburg next
Awesome.
week.
That's great.
Yeah. So we're going to be starting statewide. We're going to start taking over the world. And then we're going to add on a few more affiliates the following week.
Great.
And another announcement coming up later on in the month for a show that's going to lead into us. And it's a return of somebody that you've listened to on this very radio station in the past. That's all I'm going to do. That's called a tease.
Did Doug Gottlieb quit that coaching job again to come back to radio?
We did. Good. I love you, man. I really love you a lot. All right, we're getting ready for Cubs Dodgers. Tarek Skubal is going to make his debut in the Big Blue. Cubs whacked the Dodgers yesterday at Wrigley Field. The wind was blowing out. A lot of home runs. We'll be watching it. Starts 5:05.
America's team.
Baby J is like poking the bear right now. All right. So Mario Cristobal gets an extension with Miami. And there's still, and I think there are people, by the way, thanks for tuning in wherever you're at. There are still people here in Eugene that feel a little jilted by the way Mario Cristobal left Oregon and don't want to see him have success anywhere else. Honestly, I'm not one of them because after the Willie Taggart fiasco that happened here at Oregon, Mario Cristobal, to me, kind of like calmed everything down. And he was not a successful coach before he got here in terms of wins and losses. And Oregon administration took a chance on Mario Cristobal. He had a certain demeanor about him, but one that kind of, I think, felt right for Eugene. And he helped kind of rebuild and set the framework for Dan Lanning to take it to the next level. Agree, disagree?
Absolutely. I agree with, I would fight back on your Willie Taggart fiasco. Willie Taggart came in for a team that was 4-8 and got him to 7-6 and brought in a man named Mario Cristobal who he handed it off to. And again, fans want to get mad that he left for you brought a guy from Florida in and you're surprised he went back to Florida. Sorry, kind of the way it works sometimes. I know you wanted him for more than a year. Who knows when these jobs open up?
I'm
so
sorry.
I'm not going to call you up. It's 7
Okay, no, I'm just saying he was slick Willie.
That's fine.
He was, and where is he now? He's out of coaching.
That's fine. I'm just saying his
No,
year at Oregon wasn't a fiasco. He took you from 4 wins to 7, and he set you up for better things coming forward.
Maybe the wrong
A
word.
fiasco is Bill Belichick, who comes in and sets your program back 5 years.
Okay, I'm going to agree with you, but
Your high horse, Professor Ski Lodge.
but here's Willie Taggart came in and he was always going to look for that next job.
That's fine. But he brought you from 4 to
Okay,
7 and
not
set
me.
you up for the next one.
The school, not
The school.
me. All right.
So anyway, I'm just saying,
Okay.
for people who get upset that Willie left, I tell them, look, follow the thing. He's put back. He
This
kind
is
of
why I
brought
love
a team
you,
back
Chris.
up to the wins for them.
Why I love
Mario Cristobal.
Okay.
I covered all the Mario Cristobal years.
You did.
I really like Mario. To me, he was very honest with the media for one. Up until the end, he didn't. The end didn't go great, but again, when you're juggling jobs and options, it doesn't always. But he always, pretty much was straight up front with people.
Yep.
He treated me very well.
Yep.
I think he treated most media members well. You know, he sent me, after my father died, he sent me a text talking about his father passing away, things he didn't have to do.
Really?
I texted with him after he left a couple times back and forth, just said congratulations on things.
You
He
still have
gets
his
back to
number?
you. I do.
Can we get him on the show?
Yeah, we'll work into that. Anyway,
Come on,
I'm a
man.
Mario Cristobal fan.
Yeah,
but again,
okay.
I treat people how they treat me. He was really good to me for the 4 years I covered him.
Awesome.
I like him. He never, sent the SIDs to say, hey, you screwed this up or this and that. He
Yeah.
was always very honest to me. I enjoyed Mario Cristobal. Well deserved on the Rays. Obviously, gets the team to the national championship game.
Absolutely.
Within a drive of potentially winning it. I think he's done a very good job, Miami. I think they're going to be very good this year. I think at number 7, I might have had him in my top 5, but kudos to Mario for going back home to a program that kind of like the one that, had been in some shambles and getting them back there.
Do you think there's more pressure on Cristobal in Miami than there was at Oregon? Because Miami's had national championships, and they have a hotbed of talent in the South and in their entire state that they can pull from. And he's an alum, and he has a ring. Do you think there's more pressure on him down there than there would have been in Eugene?
Yeah, there wasn't as much pressure here because, again, he came in and took over a program that had gotten down to
So
the
there's more
4,
pressure
and then
down
he
there.
replaced- And I think there's probably more internal pressure there. He wants to be the one to get the U back to the top.
Right.
He was there when they were there. He wants to be that. So I think there's more internal pressure there. I think he loved his time at Oregon. I think if the Miami job doesn't open up, I don't think Mario was looking for other places. That just happened to be the one that was going to be there.
I'm a martyr.
Gave
That's
Oregon. Hey, look,
easy.
he got him to a Rose Bowl. But there used to be a time, I know Oregon fans now, the Rose Bowl isn't that cool. There was a time in the 90s when the Rose Bowl was the peak. And if you were
Yeah.
a coach who got them to the Rose Bowl, they named the field after you, is what they used to do.
Yeah.
Okay? So nowadays, he got him to a Rose Bowl. He was the one, and I would say him more than Willie, who and even Rob Mullins would tell you this. They got infatuated with recruiting once Mario kind of got it going and the classes were up there, and that was actually one of the things that led to Dan Lanning being the hire,
Right.
even though he hadn't had a track record as a head coach. I think Rob Mullins really liked the fact that they had some recruiting, and he saw Dan and the type to kind of keep that going. So. If you're an Oregon fan and you're still holding a grudge against Mario Cristobal and still going, well, he has a little game management, I'm still upset about that fumble against Stanford type thing.
I love the way you
Get
changed
over
your
it.
voice.
Get over it. Like I say, I think he did well for Oregon, and then he moved to his alma mater. He left it in a really good place for Dan Lanning to come in and succeed. It's bizarre to me that Oregon fans want to look and root against Mario Cristobal. Same thing to me when they were rooting against Willie Taggart. Neither of these people came in, torpedoed your program, and left. They all took it to a place that was better when they got it. Again, I understand Willie left after a year, but he took you from a 4-8 to a 7-6. Got the recruiting bug going and brought in Mario Cristobal to keep that going. The flow to where Dan Lanning is now has been helped by what those two did. Whether fans want to believe that or not, that's what I believe.
And I was originally going to bring up these two because I wanted to compare the two of them and how much success we've had since Dan Lanning's come in. But honestly, the way that you're talking about it, it makes me convinced almost that this is sort of the best case scenario for both parties in Miami and Oregon and Mario Cristobal and Dan Lanning when it comes down to it. Because, like you said, Dan Lanning's built on what Mario Cristobal did. At the time, I think that everybody wanted pretty much to keep Mario Cristobal. He was a guy that
Absolutely.
was a very, very good head coach.
No,
so
Rob Mullins handed him a contract extension, and Rob Mullins wanted it. So,
And
yeah,
he
there's
used
no
that
doubt.
to get a deal at
He
Miami
didn't
as well.
use that. I mean, he was going to get a deal at Miami either way. Did he get a couple more $1 million? Maybe.
Yes,
but
he
again, I
did.
don't,
Absolutely
I don't begrudge if somebody is in a negotiation and decides to use one for another. That's
Absolutely.
okay with me if that's what he
I
does.
have a problem with it either.
But he took Rob Mullins wanted to try to bring him back, and I think Mario looked at it and said thanks, but I'm gonna go do this over there. So that was, but yeah, I think what Mario's done at Miami is really impressive, and I think they're gonna be really good again this year. I think last year he finally kind of escaped again the people who love to point out the game management can't manage a game type thing. Dude got to the national title game.
Well,
Dude's
that's
been pretty good. I'm going to say that if he can't manage a game, he's done a pretty good job for a guy who supposedly anytime one little thing goes wrong, everybody sits there and acts like, oh my gosh, here we go again.
SportsAnimalEUG.com is where you can find us, and also on all the socials, SportsAnimalEUG. That's on like the TikTok, the Twitter, the Instagram, all of that. We're all over the place, and you can listen to us live on the stream and also over the air on SportsAnimalEUG.com and 102.9 FM in Eugene, and also on the coast at Fox Sports Newport. So real quick before we head to break, So the other question is, and I can answer this for me, and you can respond, Goose, is who's had more success? Has it been Dan Lanning or Mario Cristobal? And I'll just say, Mario Cristobal has gotten to a national championship game. So if you want to put it comparatively, that's how you measure it. And so he's had more success.
Correct. The answer to me is Mario Cristobal. It doesn't mean he's a better coach than Dan Lanning, folks. You're just saying who has had more success.
It's a different conversation.
First off, he left Oregon in a better place for Dan than Manny Diaz left Miami.
Absolutely.
Again, Miami's not. This isn't some poor little program he took over and turned around. It is Miami. But when he came in, they were not very good, and Mario left it pretty well for Dan. And then again, they both have had very parallel success going up. Last year, one guy got to the championship game and one didn't. So yeah, I'm with you. If you're saying who has had more success, it's Mario Cristobal. Are you saying who's the better coach? You know, we can debate that one all day long, but the more success is he took over a program that was in worse shape and got it to the championship game first. If one of them wins the championship first,
then we can say that. Yeah, absolutely.
I guess it's a question, though, maybe of do you feel like you want the peak or consistent success? Because Oregon's had 12 wins the last 3 seasons. Mario Cristobal had 13 wins last year, but had 10-3 record the year before.
But
in
what did he
2023,
take over,
7-6.
What did he take over?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The peak has been higher for Mario Cristobal at Miami, undoubtedly, right? I mean, they made it to the national championship, got within a drive.
Yeah, I think though you're seeing that he's now
the upward.
That's where you think that's where they are now.
Let's see what happens this year. This is going
because
to be
of the
interesting.
recruiting and because he's got the money to go out and get Carson Beck one year and Darian Mensah the next. And, you know, I mean, Oregon has the same thing. I mean, the funds between Miami and Oregon, I would guess, are pretty similar in that. But yeah, I would say I don't think that Mario Cristobal came in and struggled at the beginning because of, you know, I just think it took a while to get his guys and his talent in there.
All right. So when we come back, dovetailing off of college football, how many teams can realistically make the college football playoff? Well, we know that there's a limit because there's only so many spots. But I think that's where you're going after, right, Baby J?
Yeah.
So who do we think? And this kind of goes into who do we think that has not made it, could make it this year? Let's pick one team that could be our dark horse. Okay, we've got the ones at the top. Let's pick a dark horse. Let's talk about that next here on The Drive.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really. But you miss a minute of The Drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on 102.9 FM and 1050 AM. The Sports Animal.
Men like to get the most out of things. We expect results when we hit the gym, and we expect to finish our weekend to-do list. We also expect ourselves to never slow down, even when some things start to get a little harder. Low testosterone levels might be slowing you down. That's when Oregon Man Clinics step in. Sharpen your focus, regain energy levels, and improve your love life with treatment options tailored to you. Get the most out of being a man. Visit us online at our Springfield, Bend, and Albany locations.
Wildfire season is coming. Are you ready? All it takes is one small ember to level a home. Reduce any fire hazards around your home and property to prevent an escape fire from spreading out of control and to protect your home from an oncoming wildfire. It's called Defensible Space, and it works. Go to keeporegongreen.org to learn more.
I'm a veteran. My victory was admitting I had PTSD and getting help.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I no longer see it as a weakness, but as a sign of strength. I call it post-traumatic growth.
DAV provides a lifetime of support, helping veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans so they can reach victories great and small.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe. My victory was finding the help I needed.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Help support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
I noticed that my central vision started to blur.
Figures that are usually straight started to distort to become wavy.
What are these little dark spots with blurring that I'm seeing?
There's a blind spot like a blob over my vision now.
Is my vision lost forever? Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist in a timely manner have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Don't delay seeing a retina specialist. It's worth the visit to save your vision so you don't miss out on life's precious moments, like seeing your grandchild grow up, enjoying a sunset with that special someone, or reading a good book. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. The truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Let's just not do that this week.
Oopsies.
No. I didn't add up Big Bets today.
Good.
Baby J. No, we're going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to
Oh, we forgot again?
Somebody destroy the recording of the Friday show so we can't go back and find it.
No, I found it.
No, he found it. So you want to put us on the platform? There we go. Thanks for tuning in on the YouTube and the Twitter. Hi, wave to the friends. Goose, wave. No, you got to move over. Wave right in front of your microphone. Just put it. There you go. There you go. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. SportsAnimalEUG.com. The Sports Animal up and down the Willamette Valley, the #1 sports station in town, also out on the coast. Fox Sports Newport, 92.7 KNCU. Thanks for tuning in. Quick segment. How many teams realistically can make the CFP? I think that's a wider conversation. I want each of us to pick one team you think is going to make it this year that somebody probably wouldn't have on their radar. Goose, you go first.
BYU.
Okay. Baby J.
BYU is a good one.
You just pick another team then.
I didn't have BYU. I sort of was going to go. You said not on your radar, which kind of changes what I was going to say.
Not
Honestly,
on somebody else's radar, not
on someone
necessarily
else's
your
radar?
radar. So to me, it's Iowa.
That's fair.
I think Iowa could make it. Okay, you.
I'm going to go with Washington.
Okay. So you went big. You went
Washington made the playoff. Well, I don't guess
no.
They lost in
They made the
title game.
4-team playoff.
And the 4-team. So you went the Monster Energy Big 12.
Correct.
Thank you.
And yeah, see, we're
We love a good
contractually
bit.
obligated to say that. And then we went Big 10. So outside of that, is there another team? I mean, does LSU sneak back in?
I was going to say
See,
LSU. I was going to say
like
USC.
I do like
USC is the
LSU.
team.
I like Sam Levitt and I like Lane Kiffin.
Totally.
I don't like him, but I think him and
Well,
Levitt. I
but
think
you
Levitt
put
and
Sam
Kiffin.
Levitt together. I mean, listen, Lane Kiffin is a savant when it comes to offense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't bet against him in terms of spinning something offensively, but I don't know how much they're going to concentrate on defense when they're at LSU. So you're going to outscore everybody 42-38? Is that what's
Yeah, and he
going to
didn't
happen?
get his defensive coordinator because he stuck around to coach Ole Miss. So.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
maybe
that'll be
they-
interesting.
Maybe it's one of those where they lose too many high-scoring games.
What do you think, Baby J?
USC is the one that I look at that I don't know if they're not on people's radar. I mean, there's number 14 here in the poll that was just released. So I think that they're certainly on people's radar, but USC eventually has got to make something happen.
So, by the way, my good buddy, Coach Tony, said Mary Cristobal leaving Oregon was the best thing that happened to Oregon. You got Dan Lanning out of it. No. That's what he said. You got Dan Lanning out of it. It's not that Mary Cristobal was bad. It's the best thing that Oregon got out of it. They got Dan Lanning. Not an unfair comment.
No, but Oregon wasn't falling off the map if Mario Cristobal had stayed with us.
All right, we come back next hour.
Words get mixed up.
Words and words. We're going to boo Kyle Tucker next hour, apparently. MLB top 10 post-deadline of the trading. Kevin Durant disses Klay Thompson. What? Next on The Drive.
Nothing is too big for the sports animal to handle. That's what she said. You're home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and The Drive with Danny, Steve, and Justin from 3 to 6. This is the sports animal.
It kind of sneaks up on you. You're more tired than you should.
Hello. Welcome to hour number 3 of The Drive. Thanks for tuning in wherever and however. I'm Danny. There's Justin. There's Steve. And there's you. You're there. Thanks for hanging out with us. Last hour of the program, no guests, so the phones are open for you at 844-3484. That's 541-844-3484. That's the Oregon Man Clinic's hotline. Also, toll free if you're outside the market, which I know you are because you're listening to us in Newport at 877-844-3484. Justin's going to take your call, and you're going to put us on the air, and you can talk to us.
Call us and tell us if you want to fight me over if you hate Mario or Willie Taggart because they left your football team and didn't tell you that you were the greatest football program of all time. Call in and we can debate it.
Well, and I just want to say I'm really
Okay.
pleasant over the phone.
Yes.
I'm really, really nice. You're not going to hear anything from me. You might get it from Ski.
Why would you go there right away? Don't get argumentative with our callers that come in. You don't
We love
have
our
to.
callers.
We do love our callers. All
I'd
right,
love
let's-
to have a debate. What did you
No.
call it the other day with Woody Crossfire? I'd love to have a
It is
crossfire. If
Crossfire.
somebody wants to call me up and tell me how Willie Taggart or Mario Cristobal are horrible former football coaches because of that. I will have that debate with you.
All right, we have that on the agenda. If you want to hop on in, anything we've talked about, and by the way, if you've missed any of the program, you missed Yogi Roth in the first hour, you missed Eric Skopel, the great Skopeldamus, in the second hour, and some debate about Congress in sports, Mario Cristobal, as Goose is alluding to, the Pac-12 Mountain West reaching a settlement, which was, to me, a nothing burger. We do need to talk about, in the next segment, not this segment, but the next segment, the third anniversary of Oregon in the Big Ten.
Yes.
I think this is monumentous.
I can remember
is that a word?
Day
Is
very well.
monumentous
I
a
remember
word?
that day very well.
Okay,
It's one
well-
of those, to me, it's one of those, where were you when? So I'm
Okay,
happy to
so let's
discuss that.
let's talk about the next segment.
Okay.
Okay, not this one. So if you want to hop on, please do.
Where
The
were you
Oregon
when?
Man
That's a
Colleagues
good
Hotline.
question.
Huh? What?
Where were you when? That's a good
Ooh,
There
question.
you go. Where
That's
were you
actually
when? You probably were just waking up because it was an overnight transaction.
And it started, there was a snowball heading downhill with USC and UCLA, and all of a sudden Oregon and Washington got caught up in it, and that imploded the Pac-12. But that's next segment. Let's get next segment, please. All right. 844-3484, the Oregon Man Colleagues Hotline, toll free, 877-844-3484. We're going to load in a couple of other communities into this little program. We're going to start expanding. We're going to be one of the biggest programs in the state of Oregon, guys. Do you realize that there's no pressure, but you realize we're going to be on in like 6 other markets.
Love it.
I'm just excited.
Let's
Yeah,
chat
there's no
about
pressure.
those places. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be in Klamath Falls and Roseburg and Medford.
As we get into high school football, we can have some of those towns' football coaches, volleyball coaches on, and
Absolutely.
we
And-
can kind of
and-
promote
and-
the sports in all those towns.
In fact, speaking of high school football, we are going to have Josh Line and Bill Wagner here in studio tomorrow to make a
Nice.
big announcement.
Well, I'm sorry I'm not going to be here because those are 2 of my friends. but
Well,
that's okay.
we plan that because you're not here,
They
because
probably do.
we need to fill in some time because there's a void when you leave us on Wednesday. So
know.
how many more weeks of this golf thing you're doing?
Well, the next 2 I'm gone for personal reasons.
yeah,
So that
again-
brings me back. So that probably leaves one last one in August before I think the women's thing.
Are you going to be
on
around in the fall? Are you going to
I
be
think
around
so,
for
yeah.
football season?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'll be
Just
around
asking.
on Wednesdays.
Okay. So the MLB top 10 post deadline is what I see on my schedule. So I think this is who won, who lost when it comes to the Major League Baseball trade deadline. Is that what I'm hearing, Baby J? Is that what you wanted to talk about? Who
Yeah.
won, who lost?
Well, who won, who lost, and then how we see these teams afterwards. Because to be honest with you, wasn't the heaviest trade deadline. I think that for the most part, that Scooble trade got a lot of conversation. But when you really break it down, I mean, it was really Adley Rushman. I think that was the biggest name besides Tariq Scooble that was named.
Well, I think that was the most
moved.
surprising name to me, that the Orioles were moving off of him. That was, to me, the most surprising.
Can I just, if we're gonna say winners and losers, can I give you my biggest loser?
Sure.
And I think it's by far the Milwaukee Brewers. They continue to just do the same thing over and over and over again. I can't believe they basically didn't do anything. They got Dustin May, who isn't
Well,
good anymore.
So, listen, behind the scenes, I think they were trying to go after Scooble, but
sure
they
they
were
were.
not going to be able to offer what the Dodgers were. And honestly,
Well,
if-
and
no,
I
let
wanna
me
ask
finish.
something, though.
If Tarek Scooble had anything to say about it, he thought, well, I'm going to choose the team because I'm going to go off into free agency anyway next year. I'm going to choose the team I think I can get a ring with this year.
Well, he
And
could
that was
maybe
the
get a ring
Dodgers.
with the Brewers
gotten a ring
too.
with the Brewers.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think the Dodgers
know.
are way more loaded than the Brewers
I don't know.
are.
The Brewers have a better record right now. If I'm looking
Nah.
here at the Major League Baseball
Well-
standings, I see that the Brewers are number 1. And I'm
Okay.
not sitting there and saying they're a better team because I don't think the Dodgers try in the regular season. But what I will say is this: I think one of the
Don't-
reasons
they don't
why
try in the
I
regular
don't think
season.
they try. I don't really think they try. I think they kind of coast their way to a division that which they've won. What was it like? They've won the division 13 out of 14 years. Like what? I don't even know what the actual number is, but they've lost it once, and I believe that was 2016. So here I'm gonna
Okay.
take this call.
All right. So what do you think about that, Goose?
I think that there were very few winners and very few. The Dodgers were the winner. They got Turk
Yeah.
Scooble, but there was not, to me, a second big name. There's talk of C.J. Abrams of the Nationals going somewhere. He
There was
didn't.
a lot of
If
middling
Adley
going on.
Rutschman's your second biggest get, then that's not a whole lot of winners and losers there. And teams like, the Cubs added pitching, but it was Braxton Garrett and some folks like that. And we had the Padres added Casey Mize and Robbie Ray. So there were some additions, but nobody to me other than the Dodgers made the big splash. So I'm with you that I think the Brewers and the Rays are a couple that you look at and say, hey, if they go all in on prospects, maybe they can win the World Series this year. But they both took kind of more middling pitchers instead. So I'm with you that I think if I'm a Brewers fan, I'm ready to start cashing in some of these prospects, even if it's just for a 1-year run to see if we can get there.
The Oregon Man Clinics hotline open for you at 541-844-3484. Toll free outside of the market, which means outside of Eugene, at 877-844-3484. And we will take your calls on wherever you want to go. We're talking a lot of baseball because that's what we're in. We're going to boo Kyle Tucker apparently a little bit later on.
That's not what I was saying.
No, that you said booing Kyle Tucker. Was it wrong? That's what you're saying. So when he returned to Wrigley Field, that's what you were saying, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We do have Brad on the phone. He wants to talk about Mario Cristobal.
All right, Mario Cristobal. All right, Brad. Hey, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm good. I wanted to weigh in. I personally really like Mario Cristobal a lot. I liked what he stood for and what he was doing here. Of course, I was bummed when he left, but I never liked Willie Taggart. He really felt like a snake oil salesman, and I never really bought into his shtick, and was not at all. It didn't surprise me when he left, and was not at all bummed when he did.
So, Brad, I'm going to cut you off for a second. And I just thought about this no, listen, hear me out. I think it was more about how Willie Taggart was evasive at the end of the year when Oregon had success and was not necessarily upfront with the media. I'm just going to say that's the last impression. Isn't that fair?
No, nobody is at the end. When you're thinking about another job, I mean,
he's going to shout me down.
Nobody ever says, yeah, Florida State called. I'm going to fly out there on Tuesday, but today I'm going to keep getting ready for the Vegas Bowl.
I'm the coach of Oregon. Why are you asking me that question? That's what he said. I'm the coach. Why are you asking me that question?
I just want to ask Brad this. Brad, one question. Okay. Were you at Autzen during the Willie year? And if you were, did you swag surf at any point?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, you were all in on Willie, man. You were all in on Willie for a little while. You 50,000 people are in Willie now. You guys were swag surfing every game.
Come on, Brad. You haven't answered the question, Brad. You just laughed. You didn't answer the question.
I said I kind of moved a little bit side to side. I'm not a big swag surfer, but no, I don't know. I didn't think either of them was the best X's and O's guy.
But that didn't matter.
They got where we ended up with Dan Lanning.
So that was kind of what Goose's point was, is that didn't matter. The X and O's you can debate till the cows come home, but they elevated and got Oregon back to a spot in recruiting, which is, I think, the main point you're making, Goose,
you had lost
right?
The recruiting battle under Mark Helfrich, and that's what led to the 4-8.
And they revived it. Both those guys did.
We're excited about the Vegas Bowl, baby.
Nice.
I was going for that impersonation. If you didn't play it, that's
boy, that's great. That's a great point, though. Yeah, I think we're making that point. So I think we can put that one to rest. Yeah. Can we? Finally, can we put it to rest?
Yeah, like I say, I'm just
it's
where we are.
I mean, I remember people giving me what was the whole. He had that little 3-word thing, and they even put it up on the practice field. It was like. Remember, it was
can't remember it now.
Do this, do that. No excuses, no, and then do something. The last one was do something. It was like do something.
Yeah,
and they put that up on the practice field. Now, mysteriously, that was gone the next year. But it was like Oregon was all into Willie's phrases. Fans were all into the phrases and the swag surf, and they felt pretty cool when he was here. Until he left, it suddenly everybody was angry.
Mark Helfrich, though, that was the thing. It was polar opposite of Mark Helfrich.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then,
I mean, we were winning a lot of days back in the Chip Kelly era.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's weird to me that nobody gets mad that Chip left. I guess it's because he took him to that higher level. But yeah, and I like Mark Helfrich too. I love covering him. But yes, it had reached a 4-8 to where I think Rob Mullins saw this might be going down further before it goes up. And hey, give credit to Rob Mullins. He's made some really good hires in a row. Promoting Mario Cristobal when nobody else was hiring him, and then finding Dan Lanning when nobody else knew where he was.
All right,
throughout the entire athletic department. Mullins has really done a home run job, in my opinion. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, so Brad, one last question for you. Are you okay now? You've had more than 24 hours to recover from Adley Rushman and everything else your Orioles have done. Are you okay now? Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I'm looking on the bright side. I'm
Okay.
looking for what they're gonna, looking at next year, right? There's always next year when you're an Orioles fan.
So how would you rate everything? Because we're going to do the MLB top 10 post deadline. I don't know if we're going to go 1 through 10 with us. We'll probably just go 1 through 3. So how do you think the Orioles ended up doing?
I mean, I think it was a smart move, but it's hard to say whether Rushman will ever really get his health down. It's when a player, especially playing a physical position like catcher,
tough.
that's that question. Will he ever be healthy enough to really realize his full potential? I think so. I hope so, because I like him, but not so much now that he's a Red Sox.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the hard thing for
I
you
was
right
bummed
now.
that they traded him within the division. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was perplexing for sure. But all right, Brad. Hey, thanks as always, buddy. Appreciate you. All right.
Take care.
Yeah, there he goes.
Thanks, Brad.
The great Brad. He, by the way, he did tell me he went 4-1 in big bets. Although I don't
for
have the
him.
rest of the
Nope.
totals.
Nope.
But
Nope, I don't
he
think we
already
worry about that.
won in this session, so it doesn't matter. Even though he went 4-1, he can't win twice. That's one of the rules.
Well.
All right. So who do you guys think finished in the top? We're not do top 10 in the MLB trade deadline. Is obviously the Dodgers. are gonna
Obviously
be
the
right there.
Dodgers, yeah.
Dodgers
Dodgers win.
Dodgers win.
It was a tie for second between the other 29. I say nobody else made a move that I think, hey, this put nobody got like,
it
or
doesn't
actually,
jump out. So-
like even the Yankees brought in Luis Garcia, who's been really good, but he's not a fielder, and they don't need a first baseman, and
But
he can't
who-
play second.
But
And
who bolstered what they needed the
like
most?
the Phillies brought in Luis Arias, but in
Okay.
doing that to play second base, they
And
had
they're
to
gonna
move Stott to third, and then they had to move Bohm to first, and they had to
And
move
Harper
to the outfield. So
Right.
it's like nobody I didn't think made a move that I thought, hey, that really fills an
Seismic.
exact need
Okay.
for that thing there.
Can
So
I make a
that's
case
just me.
for my
Sure.
Cubs? Just because,
Our Cubs, by the way.
Danny knows me as a Jed Hoyer criticizer. Like
Oh,
he knows
he-
I don't really like Jed Hoyer.
Not criticizer.
Yeah.
He hates
Well,
Jed Hoyer.
I don't want to say it publicly.
No, that's fine. I'm saying it for you, so you don't have to say it. So if Pat Hughes is listening, he can put it on the broadcast.
Love Pat
tomorrow.
Hughes.
All right.
So my
Okay,
point
go
is
ahead.
this: if there was one team there was a playoff team that was not a team that was fighting for a spot, because this year there's been so much parity. There's a lot of teams that are 2.5, 3 games out that I think it's hard for them to commit to doing something because they know they don't necessarily have a shot at the playoffs. Where the Cubs are kind of in that spot right now, have a great lineup. They can compete lineup wise with the top teams, the Dodgers, etc.
Right.
They had such a need for pitching that even though they didn't add any huge name, they got like Clay Holmes, they got some decent guys.
Braxton Garrett.
They're unarguably better than they were, and they didn't give up more than 2 out of their top 10 prospects. So in,
Rojas and Ballesteros sure.
I'm not saying they're not nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. But what they did was they kept most of their top guys. I'm not saying
Yeah.
they didn't give away
Yeah,
anything. You
yeah.
had to give away something.
Yeah.
But they inarguably got better in the area that they needed relief help and they needed starting pitching help. And they inarguably got better in those areas, in my opinion.
Here it is. Next 4 weeks are going to say what you did and how you affect your team next month. That's what it's going to be now. So now we're going to watch the standings, and we've got a big matchup tonight. Cubs Dodgers again at Wrigley
Skubal's
Field.
about to do his
And
first pitch as a Dodger here.
There he goes. First pitch is
100 miles per hour.
Was a strike.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I would say this about the Cubs. They have Imanaga, Boyd. They might get Cabrera back. They might get Ben Brown back. You're adding in Garrett. You're adding in. It's sort of like a depth of a staff and not a top heavy.
Totally with you.
Somebody I heard today had a great line, and they said Chicago might have, of all the playoff teams, Chicago might have the best number 7 starter.
You're not wrong.
You're not going to get to
So
the
is this
7th
like
starter.
the
You need
backup
to have 1,
quarterback?
2, 3. Well, you just need in the playoffs. You don't need a 4 and a 5. You need.
need
So
1
they
and
don't
2.
have. I would
You need that guy that can take you 7
Correct.
innings and
Correct.
and
I'm
win you
with
a
you. I
game.
think you kind of go in there as a manager, being like, these 7 guys. I have no idea which of these guys could go out and give it. It's not. So that would be my question with Chicago: is you're going to have a pitcher that you feel like can win a game for you, but you're not going to have a guy that you know is going to win the game for you.
Dude, this
Totally
is
with
gonna be, this is going to be miserable for you if the Cubs are in it.
Not at all. I
When
have
we
friends who are Cubs fans.
Okay,
I
all right.
Baby J's not the
We're
only one. I
friends
have nothing
that are Cub
against the
fans.
Cubs.
You know, I'm a Cub fan too.
I know. I have nothing against the Cubs. This wouldn't be miserable at all. I cheer for the Cubs. Great. Go Cubs. Go
Okay.
Cubs. Go.
Go Cubs, go. Okay. So it is the first batter. It's Pete Crow Armstrong against Scooble. 1-2 pitch down in the dirt again. 82-mile-an-hour curveball.
You're going to get fined again. You're doing live play-by-play of a baseball game that your
There we
station
go.
doesn't have rights to. You're going to get fined again.
Come back. It is the 3rd anniversary of Oregon in the Big Ten. Let's talk about it when we come back here on The Drive.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the SportsAnimalEugene.com.
Home, select Kubota equipment for 0% financing or save up to $3,500 plus a first-year K maintenance service on us. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Mid-Valley Tractor in Eugene. 40 years, family owned. Find them at midvalleytractor.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the OSAA and the Oregon Athletic Directors Association.
I want you to imagine for a moment you're in a hospital. You are the patient connected to an IV bag. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, endless pokes, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine experiencing all of these things and you're only a child. This is why Starlight exists. To bring happiness to hospitalized children through programs that help kids cope, build resilience, and change their outlook. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
100 years ago, there were 100,000 tigers in the wild. Today, there are as few as 3,200. The Earth's wild animals can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
1050 AM, 1029 FM, and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Clean sheet for Tarek Skubal against the Cubs. So they head to the second inning at Wrigley. No score. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. Welcome back to The Drive. Thanks for tuning in. I'll go ahead and put us up there. There we go. You got it. Hello, everybody on the old YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, wherever and however. Goose is taking care of his big bets here on The Drive.
I don't pick
What?
the bets this week. I don't have to do it this week. I did it last week. You guys
So,
get to pick it this week.
I'll do it. No,
You're
I've
gonna
done
do
it.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine. You do it because I've done it. I did it before, and I broke my streak, and I was okay with it. I still need to figure out. So I will lay in bed tonight, and I will. So you have the Friday show up on the podcast, Baby J?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'll listen
You
to
can
it.
go and
tonight.
listen.
And I replayed my faux pas yesterday.
Yes, I heard that.
With
Good.
my wife, who
chuckled.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't remember. Can you explain?
I twisted around the word Twitter into something else yesterday on the program. And if you want to hear it, you got to go back and listen.
We couldn't find it.
No, I found it.
That's good.
It's
I'm glad you found
it's
it.
in the last half of the last hour of the program yesterday.
You didn't get it. I just made a joke.
Okay, no, I didn't. Sorry. So I'm concentrating on the program right now. Third anniversary of the Oregon Ducks being in the Big Ten. So is this, the Oregon Ducks have obviously had tremendous success in the Big Ten.
In football.
Okay.
Well, in softball and baseball.
They've
I don't know. They've
they've
pretty
had
good,
some
Goose.
championship track and field. Okay. The Olympic sports. What's your
holdup, Goose?
Yeah. So no, I
you
just
think
say
those teams? I mean, I feel like I don't know that even baseball would prefer to be traveling to the places. I mean,
So-
they're dominating.
okay.
They're dominating the Big Ten and softball and baseball because those conferences have no powerful programs. They were kind
Sure.
of
Pac-12
brought
is
in
much
as the
better in
best one.
softball. Yeah.
And they have to
Yeah.
go play in the snow in Northwestern for these games.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I think that if Mark and Missy had their choice, they'd rather be in the old Pac-12, which is more
Absolutely.
competitive and
Absolutely.
more regional and in sunnier temperatures. So that's why I'm saying that I don't believe it has been as good for those. Volleyball has kind of fallen off the map. I would, has really
Well,
dropped.
Men's basketball.
Trent
Since,
Carson
men's
is trying to bring it
basketball-
back in volleyball.
Men's
so-
basketball has had a hard time keeping up with the halves in the Big Ten. Kelly Graves has done a nice job being right there in the middle.
Absolutely.
Track's good in the Big Ten. Really, you're telling me that Oregon track's going to be good in a
Yeah,
conference
they
that
are.
has
Yeah.
Rutgers and Northwestern, and I'm saying that just because teams have success doesn't mean it has been a better spot for them than the Pac-12. They
No.
were pretty good at track in the Pac-12 too. It's not
The
like they
ex-
had to move to go
the
find
ex-
success there.
The expenditure has not been worth. So it's like what they say the juice is not worth the squeeze when it comes to this.
Yeah,
I
can't
it's
imagine
not
those
been.
tennis players love flying across to
No, talk to Niels.
Northwestern and this and that. So I'm just saying it was done for one sport and it has been very successful and it has made the money that carries the other programs. I'm not arguing about the financial plan for college sports.
So what's your point? Is it that it's
I
not
think football is probably the only sport that given
It's
its
not-
druthers would rather be in the Big Ten than the old Pac-12.
So it's not been a good move.
I think it has been because it's been very profitable and the football team has been very good. But again, this is all
Isn't
about
that all that
football.
matters?
Well, you're talking
Yeah,
about
Yeah,
isn't that all that
that's where
matters?
your budget
Yeah.
is. That's where your budget is. I'm just saying, if you walk to the other coaches and go knock on their door and say, "Hey, we just got
How's
a
this
call. We
been?"
could be back in the old Pac-12. Would you
They go-
rather do that, or do you like flying out to these other places?" I think all of them would say, "I kind of like being competitive in these warm little places where we could fly down to Tucson and then drive over to Scottsdale and didn't have to hop on a flight everywhere we
Listen,
go and didn't have to
as a
spend a day."
fan, trying to get to East Lansing,
I think
Michigan.
fans too. Fans, I don't think.
Trying to get to State College, Pennsylvania.
Well, again,
Think
I don't
about
think
that trip.
I don't think basketball fans have even when Purdue, Michigan State come in, but some of those games have more visiting fans because they haven't seen them for a while. I think Oregon basketball fans miss having Arizona and Arizona State come in and a trip
On a
to
weekend?
UCLA. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not better for anything else besides football.
Exactly. That's what I said.
But
That's why when you
but
said
again,
it's been
we
a
all
successful
agree-
move, and I
but
said
we all
for
agree
football.
that that's what's driving the revenue
Correct.
and everything in college athletics.
Correct.
So we have to give it up for that, unfortunately. But believe me, again, as somebody who has traveled every single year for I can't even remember how long, at least one road game every year. I pick a game and I go. I'm not trying to figure out how to get to State College, Pennsylvania, because it is a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
This year it's what?
Can we just separate football from everything else.
Well, that's
why
what,
is that not
that's
talked
the
about?
answer,
That's-
right? Is
it's
they should have
absolutely
just
what we're
separated
doing.
football only. But
Because I'm not going on a basketball trip, and I wasn't doing that for when they were in the Pac-12. I wasn't saying, "Hey, I'm going to go down and watch Arizona State."
I was. It was on the
Okay,
company
well,
dime,
you were,
but
you were working,
and it was nice being. It was nice being in Arizona in February.
But for the normal fan, they're not going to do that anyway. It's all travel is all going to be about
Well,
football.
but a lot of your fans live in the Seattle area and live in the LA area and live in the Bay Area and
Yeah.
would go and see their teams. There's not as many fans that live in Piscataway and East Lansing that are Oregon fans. So when
Love
Oregon goes on the road now, they used to, if Oregon basketball went down to Stanford, that place was half Oregon, because Stanford didn't draw a lot. Same thing at, Arizona State. You would have an Oregon contingent that would show up. I think if you ask people, I haven't been on the road in the Big Ten, it feels like it's pretty dominated by the opposing crowds now. Whereas when you're on the West Coast, you had enough fans leveled throughout those places that you could get a few in there and get some cheers and some people on your side.
Love that you said Piscataway, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to
Baby
talk
J.
about Kyle Tucker and whether or not the Cub fans should have booed him. I guarantee you they're booing him right now. He just hit a home run. Dodgers are up 1-0.
Okay, I was just watching the foul ball.
So yes, I would
Okay,
say that
say
it's been
they
great
are
for
in the
football.
top of the second.
It's been great for football, but I don't think it has. And maybe we can get Congress to come in and they'll just do that football. I mean, that's where it needs
Stop
to be
it,
is football
Congress.
only and let the rest be. I don't know if we can ever get back. I don't think we can ever put the toothpaste back in and bring back even the old
tube.
Pac-12 because now you'd have to bring a team from the ACC and you're not going to get it all back together. But certainly those other coaches would rather have the West Coast leagues than the ones they're in now. Also because, again, as we've talked about with Oregon baseball, they could go 40-16 and might
Right.
not get a number 8 seed because their strength of schedule is going to be like 23
Not great.
because there
Yeah.
might be one other team in the Big Ten that's good. So
Right.
it doesn't help them in that sense either.
SportsAnimalEUG.com is our website. Go there for everything sports animal as you're listening to us on the number one sports station in the Valley, 102.9 FM, 1050 AM in the Valley, and out on the coast on Fox Sports Newport, 92.7 KNCU. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Danny. That's Steve. Over there is Justin. And it's you out there listening. And if you want to call in the Oregon Man Clinics hotline at 541-3. I did it.
Get the, get the Brian jar over here.
541-844-3484. 541-3. I did it again. 541-844-3484. Toll free 877-844-3484. So are we just going to say now, as we wind up this conversation before we get into our next segment, is that are we still just 3 years away from a super conference? Goose, you just got to tell me, is that the way we're going?
No,
are we going to
'cause I
blow
think
up?
all those TV deals still run past that. So I think even when the first
And they
one
don't
gives
sync up?
there's
That's the
somewhat-
reason why we don't?
So I don't think that. Again, I mean, and even Congress, I think this Protect College Sports bill says that you can't expand your conferences. I think part of the reason that the group of 6 schools are all in a lot of favor of this is it basically says that these guys can't create a new league type situation.
Sure.
So this Protect College Sports, part of it, by my understanding, again, I haven't read through all 9,000 pages that Ted and
Can you do it by
and the other
tomorrow,
wrote. I can
please?
try. But no, I don't think we're getting this. I think that we're probably into the 2030s before. So that's more than 3 years from now.
I think we're on a highway to hell, boys.
So Kyle Tucker got booed, apparently. I think he did. He just hit a home run against the Cubs. You got a bunch of stuff on here, Baby Jake. Kevin Durant dissing Klay Thompson. The London Lions playing the Blazers. We have a lot left, but it's only a half hour left on the program. So hang around. We don't know where it's going to go. And if you want to hop on in, the Oregon Man Clinics hotline open for you at 844-3484. It is The Drive.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really, but you miss a minute of The Drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on 102.9 FM and 1050 AM. The Sports Animal.
I've seen it. I've covered it. I'm Alex Rogers, your local farmer's agent in West Eugene. When you need auto, home, life, or business insurance, Farmers can help you protect everything you've worked so hard to achieve. I really enjoy what I do, and I can help you understand all your coverage options. When I'm your Farmers agent, you're not stuck at the mercy of some computer. I'm your advocate when you need help. Visit my office today at 1154 Garfield Street here in Eugene, or give me a call at 541-284-2804.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since '48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
Summer. The sun, the sand. How could things be any better? Actually, you know what sounds kind of good? Chicken bones. Yeah, that would make things better. All you could eat wings for $27.95 and dollar beers from Cold Fire Cold Store? That would really make things better. Ooh, and the sauces. The sauces are to die for. In fact, now I'm kind of hungry. Oh, man. Now I need to go to Chicken Bones.
Make no bones about it. Chicken Bones has the best wings in Lane County. All you can eat wings, great sauces, and awesome burgers. Open daily at 11 a.m. on Pioneer Parkway in the Safeway Center. Check us out on Facebook or call 541-726-0111. That's 541-726-0111. Chicken Bones, chicken with an attitude.
In Africa, 5-year-old Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her must walk miles every day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can be in a classroom that expands their minds, and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses caused by dirty water. At World Vision, care about clean water runs deep. Deep enough to reach one new person with clean water every 10 seconds. Because every child, every person, everywhere deserves clean water and a chance to rise to their full potential. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Welcome back to The Drive. It's Danny, it's Steve, it's Justin, and you here on Sports Animal Eugene, out on the coast, KMCU, Fox Sports Newport. Adding on a couple of more affiliates next week. Thanks for tuning in to our little radio program, 3 hours, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, whenever Goose feels like he wants to hang out with us. And that's not going to be tomorrow.
It's not going to be tomorrow.
No, because
It's not
he's
going
going
to be
playing
tomorrow.
golf.
We've
So-
got some stuff next week. I've got some stuff going on, and then I've got a family thing. So, yeah,
you-
we're hit
here-
and miss for the start. I promise you. By
No,
last
it's
week in
fine.
August, I'm good to go.
It's fine. It's fine. As long as you get a hole in one.
Trying.
You were 12 feet away. You were 7 feet away. You were 6 inches away.
4 feet away, maybe 2 feet
No,
away.
you said 6 inches the other day.
It was, yeah. No, well, it hit. I mean, it hit. I was literally over.
Hit the
I was
flag?
over the cup. I was over it. If
you were hovering,
I was hovering apparently, but
Okay.
apparently just off by the wrong amount. So
Or-
anyway, I'll get my revenge tomorrow on that Oakway golf course.
on 18.
Well, we'll see. It depends on if we get the front or the back.
All right. 541-844-3484. Toll free 877-844-3484. If you want to hop in. So Baby J, you had is booing Kyle Tucker as he heads back to Wrigley Field right or wrong. Because what was there booing last night?
Yeah, they
between the
booed
Dodgers
him.
and Well, so did Kyle Tucker kind of like use the Cubs?
I don't know. He's the one that got traded there. He didn't decide. He just basically told the Astros that he wasn't going to sign whatever extension that they were going to
And
sign.
the Cubs pulled out a boatload of money for him. They did.
They did. I mean, did they? I mean, they
Yes, they
traded. They
did.
traded a lot for him, but they didn't sign him to anything. He was basically on arbitration. He got whatever money that was arbitrated. to him.
And then went to your favorite team.
Of course,
Dodgers.
he went to my favorite team, the Dodgers. But I think the thing is, to me, the conversation becomes, okay, he's a guy that.
All right,
you want to jump in here, clearly.
No. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, he was a guy that the entire time, the entire season, he was kind of going to be this one-year guy. There was never this sense of he's going to be extended, he's going to be a part of the future for this team. And so I think that there was a little bit of a bitter taste in people's mouths when he basically just went to the Dodgers. I do have to say, though, this is a guy that played through an injury. He didn't sit there and make anything about himself. Like, he's not a me kind of guy. And I think that the fact that the fans booed him, I don't think it was a good thing. I don't think that was right. I think that even if a guy leaves, you got to thank him for what he did for the team. And it wasn't like he was a guy that was there for 10 years, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly the point I was going to jump off on. Is this wasn't a guy that was brought up through the system or was there for 5 or 6 or 7 years.
Right.
He was a rent-a-player for a year or two, and the fan base should know that. So it's not like there was some kind of deep allegiance to the city or the club
from the beginning.
So then accept that. So to boo him, and listen, the Chicago fans are like Philadelphia fans, like Boston fans, like New York fans when it comes to certain players or certain people. Like, I don't know if that was the appropriate response from the fan base, except they felt like they got jilted a little bit, that he could have stayed around for another year and had that piece in with this team and make them better. I think that's probably where the reaction came from. I'm just assuming. Do you have any opinion on this?
Have I talked to you about Willie Taggart? Because you just said, hey, I think
We're
the fans
excited
feel
about the
jilted. He
baseball,
only came
baby.
here for a year and he left us for Kyle Tucker left you to go make more money some other place. You brought him in on 1 year and claiming you ended up not giving. Hayden Wisniewski has done nothing since then.
Yeah.
Isak Paredes is nothing. And the big guy in that was that Dominic Smith or whatever, and
Cam
he's been
Smith.
terrible. So you didn't end up giving up much in it. You got a year out of Kyle Tucker. You brought him in knowing it was an expiring contract.
And they made the playoffs.
And they made the playoffs. And oh my God, he went and signed somewhere else. Oh my God, Willie Taggart went back home. It's like, I just don't, maybe it's because I'm not a big sports fan. I'm more of kind of the thinker of the journalist type. But I don't understand this idea that now, first off, yeah, I just don't.
That's really interesting.
He came in here with the idea.
I think we need to break
for
that
1
down.
year. We're coming in
You're
here
not
for
a
1
sports
year.
fan?
I love that Gucci said, I'm more of a thinker.
I'm a sports
Rather,
fan.
I'm not a sports fan, but
I have never
I know.
booed a person in my life. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. I'm
I haven't
55
honestly,
years old.
I haven't either.
At
I'm just-
55 years old. I'm not booing somebody if I go to a game.
I love that
Okay.
about you.
Yeah.
Bruce. I really do.
You're kind of.
I've been in
you
a
kinda
press
fired
box.
up.
I've been in a press box for
And we
half
can't
of my
say
life
anything in a
watching
press
games.
box.
Exactly. So I don't. But even now that I'm out there, I'm like, it's crazy to me that people boo. Again, if Mario Cristobal plays in the first round against Oregon next year at Autzen Stadium and comes running out, grown men are going to stand up and boo. It just, I
And you
don't
don't
get
get
it.
that.
I don't get it.
I think there's people I would boo.
Okay.
I think we could think of some scenarios.
That's fine.
I
being
boo Deshaun
honest,
Watson.
That's fine. I mean, you're being fine. Why would you boo Deshaun Watson because of the off-field stuff? You're going to boo
Absolutely.
him?
You really think that impacts him that he runs
No.
out there and it's like, boy,
Actually,
that guy there.
I do think he's been impacted by the fans and the reaction to him. I actually think he's a specific case where that's happened. His confidence is totally gone.
I don't know. I haven't seen.
We're
him play
gonna
in
we're
like
gonna
5
find
years,
out this
so I
year.
don't know.
Listen, we're gonna find out this year because he's gonna be back on the field. He's gonna play for the Browns. He's absolutely number one. So let's find out where Dylan Gabriel is gonna go because he's apparently the odd man out in this whole conversation. They're not gonna keep 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, they got Shador Sanders, who they want to anoint the next greatest thing ever, even though he hasn't really proved anything.
I have my own opinions on that, but I'm not going to talk about them here yet. I'll wait until we get closer to the NFL football season, which, by the way, folks, another little programming note, we are the home of the NFL here in the Valley.
Huh?
We're going to have,
What does that mean?
Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, triple headers on Sunday.
Wow, that's
right
great.
here on the Sports Animal. So we're going to have some college football as well. So besides our, I'm going to talk about the thing we're going to do in the fall tomorrow on the pro. Well, I'll wait till Thursday. So when you're back, no, I don't know.
Well, you're announcing something tomorrow because you have folks coming in.
We have some people coming in tomorrow.
Okay.
We're gonna have a big thing. So I want to separate it out.
Okay.
So I'll do it on
Sounds good.
Thursday.
Sounds good.
So we're gonna have some things, but we're gonna talk about NCAA football in the fall, and I think you're gonna like it. Now we're not the Duck Station. We know that, but we can do other things, and we're gonna do them right here on the Sports Animal because it's gonna be about local, and then also covering the Big Ten in a way that nobody else is gonna do in the state of Oregon. So
we're starting up a football program at Lane Community College, and we are going to be the voice of Titan football.
We're going to buy UNLV basketball.
That's the big announcement on Thursday.
God, you're going to kill me. You're just absolutely going to kill me. All right, let's take another break. We come back. London Lions play the Blazers in a historic NBA preseason game. Baby J, you have Kevin Durant. This is Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I want to talk about this.
Okay, so you're going to have to lead this because Goose and I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you have any idea what he's talking about?
No.
Okay, so this next segment is pretty much Baby J and Goose and I are going to follow along here. So stay tuned. This could be entertaining 10 minutes of radio on the Sports Animal.
Nothing is too big for the Sports Animal to handle. That's what she said. Your home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and The Drive with Danny, Steve, and Justin from 3 to 6. This is the Sports Animal.
Summer nights are better with baseball. Join the Springfield Drifters as we celebrate our 5th season of baseball at Hamlin Sports Complex this season. Looking for affordable family fun entertainment all summer long? Well, we got to steal the deal for you. Located on the corner of Pioneer Parkway and Centennial in Springfield, the Drifters are proud to be your community baseball team. So what are you waiting for? Get your tickets today at driftersbaseball.com. That's driftersbaseball.com. Let's get drifty.
Imagine what it's like to be active your whole life and then find out you're going blind. That's what happened to me. I have age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. As a wife, mother, and grandmother, my sight is precious to me. What a relief when I found out that treatments for some forms of AMD are available and that research is underway on additional preventions and treatments. AMD is the leading cause of vision loss in people 55 and over. When I started seeing blurry spots in the middle of my eye, I saw my doctor. She suggested I review the prevention and treatment information on fightblindness.org. Did you know that some forms of AMD can be slowed down or stopped, and in some cases reversed if found in time? Get more information about preserving your vision. Call the Foundation Fighting Blindness today at 1-800-BLINDNESS for a free packet on reversing or managing AMD. Or go to the website where I found so much helpful information. Fightblindness.org, 1-800-BLINDNESS, 1-800-254-6363, or fightblindness.org.
A college security officer called to tell me there was a drinking party on campus. The officer said there had been excessive drinking, and our son was in the hospital for alcohol poisoning. He said my husband and I should come as soon as we could. I knew my son would face distractions and temptations when he went away to school. He already had unfortunate experiences with alcohol, and he was a little too good at fitting in with the crowd. I had no idea things could get so much worse so fast. A nurse suggested we attend Al-Anon family groups. Even though our son claimed his drinking was no big deal, he said he was not an alcoholic and that he could quit whenever he wanted. I didn't want to go to an Al-Anon meeting, but I'm sure glad I went. If someone's drinking troubling you, you might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-ALANON or go to alanon.org.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
1050 AM, 1029 FM, and the sportsanimaleugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
So tomorrow on the program, we're going to have our first visit from the rabbi, Adam Rittenberg from ESPN. I'm sure he's got some things to say about the Big Ten. We're going to have special guests from the local area tomorrow. I'm not going to give it away. You need to tune in the 3 o'clock hour. A huge announcement from the Sports Animal about local broadcasting, which we're doing here locally, here in Eugene, up down the I-5 corridor on Sports Animal, 102.9 FM, 1050 AM, and also on the coast, KNCU, 92.7 FM, Fox Sports Newport. And Baby J, you said Adam Sussman, possibly. Are you going to pull us up into the?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of things going on, Dan.
I know. I'm just saying, just pull us up there so
Here we
we
go.
can. Okay, there we go.
Yes, we're gonna try to work out all the schedules to get all those 3 guys
Yeah,
on.
but so, well, I didn't
Well,
say who the
right.
first-
You didn't say the
first
first
guys.
2 individuals.
mystery-
may or
the
may not be
mystery
more than one
guests.
person.
So it's the tease. You need to be in 3 o'clock hour. Listen, we are going to bring something back to local radio that has not been done for, I'm going to say 15 years. And that's what we're trying to do here. That's what I'm trying to do here, is to bring back radio needs to be local. If you're going to do radio, then do it local. Okay? And listen, there are other people here. I know John and Susan Melkay are awesome. John Tilson, awesome. Everybody else, I think they do their thing and it's great, but we're going to bring back local. That's what we're going to do. So tune in tomorrow. I think you're going to be happy with what you hear. Okay. All right. So this segment. So Baby J, do we have to get one more in before we get to the top of the hour, before the top of the hour?
Yeah, we have one more break.
Okay. So this quick segment. So I'm going to let you.
So not 10 minutes. All right. So this
Kevin Durant disses Klay Thompson.
I know my titles have confused you guys.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, that's where we're reading
Well,
the rundown, and we're just
it's
Goose and I
true.
are looking at each other, going, "Ooh,
All right,
what are
so
you
this
talking
all
about?"
came about. Kevin
Okay.
Durant, one thing you got to respect about him, he always speaks his mind. And
Okay.
he responded to an Instagram post that was arguing that the 26-27 Philadelphia 76ers are more talented on paper than the Durant championship winning 2017 Warriors team, which you remember had
Yeah.
Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
Draymond Green,
Yeah.
and then I'm trying to remember who their center was. I think it was Andrew Bogut, but I have to double check that one. Zaza Pachulia, so not the famous fantastic. This is a comparison with Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, and VJ Edgecombe. So who do you think that Kevin Durant sided on? Whose team do you think he thought was better? Surprisingly, he was arguing for the 76ers, and he said that it isn't close. Joel, MVP recently. Jaylen Brown, recent finals MVP. Tyrese Maxey, all-star the last 3 years. We all know what Braun does. Klay Thompson, never an MVP candidate in nothing. Kind of an interesting statement. So was it just complete, like, I hate this guy or anything like that? But he is siding with the fact that, like, his own team that he clearly, ever since he's left the Warriors, has basically distanced himself from as much as possible. He doesn't even seem to want to give them credit for a team that I think it's pretty arguable that this is one of the greatest teams of all time. And quite honestly, the 76ers haven't done anything yet.
Is Kevin Durant under contract? He's still playing, right?
Yeah, he's
the Rockets.
Houston Rockets.
Okay, how many years does he have left?
I don't know. I mean, he's 37.
Is he
30 years
lobbying
old.
to try and be a reserve on the 76ers?
No, I don't think
No.
they have room for his contract. Unless he wants to do a LeBron and take another minimum deal, he's not going to the 76ers.
Okay, well, I thought maybe
Unless they
there was
trade
some,
him for
some
Embiid
other
or
motivation
something
in
like
there.
that, no.
I mean, that's a flyer comment as far as I'm concerned. That's just trying to get some attention. It is.
I mean,
that's all
he-
there is. I mean, he's
I think
asked
he
the
speaks
question.
his
He's going to
mind.
answer it. No, that's fine.
And
I
it speaks
don't
to the
have a
fact
problem
that
with
he
that.
just doesn't want to basically have anything to do with that 2017 run with the Warriors because of what he feels like it did to his legacy. And anything he's done at this point has been tied to that Warriors team where he just wants to be his own player. And I think he liked the fact that he got a couple championships, but the fact that he hasn't won one before or after that, it's certainly something you have to talk about when you talk about his legacy. He only won with Steph Curry, who we all consider one of the best basketball players of all time.
Which you would think would be why he'd want to talk about those years, because those are the rings. But yeah, I mean,
Right.
it wasn't his team, and Yeah, I don't know what his, again, he's a strange dude, so I can't get into his motivations for it. But the difference between those teams is the top end. When you had a prime Curry and a prime Durant, you had two top 25 players all time, and you don't have your top two all time guys on the team. LeBron and Embiid are not in their prime right now, and the other two aren't there yet either. So you don't have the top end.
You got to have Embiid play more than 40 games.
Yes, you don't have the top end.
You can't compare MVP Steph Curry, who was a unanimous MVP, to Joel Embiid 3 years after a bunch of injuries.
Yeah.
All right. So Cubs and Dodgers, as we're watching it with a keen eye, 1-1, bottom of the third. Cubs have 2 on, 2 out. Skubal through 2 2/3, 45 pitches. Does he go to 100 pitches tonight against the Cubs?
Why would he? They're just playing for the
Shouldn't.
postseason.
Yeah, that's all right. When we come back, close out the show here on The Drive.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Sports fans, you know weekends belong to sports. And Fox has more sports than any other broadcast station. From NFL to UFL, MLB to MLS, plus the best in college football and Big Noon Saturday. The best in sports, only on Fox.
Get your news, get your weather and sports, and get to bed. Fox 34 News at 10, Western Oregon's only 10 o'clock news.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number DC 83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debts may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At the Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support the Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew. So here we go. First day on the job. You got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Adam Rittberg on the program tomorrow, along with, we hope, Adam Sussman, and special guests in the 3 o'clock hour. You want to stay tuned to The Drive tomorrow, 3 to 6. Say goodnight to everybody, Goose.
Good night, everybody. See you Thursday.
Say goodnight, Justin.
Good night, everybody.
All right, let's do dad joke. What would you get if you cross a dinosaur with a pig? Dinosaur with a pig.
Some sort of ham.
Jurassic pork. Come on, that was better than
wasn't
yesterday.
Bad. That wasn't bad. I just was thinking ham, not pork.
Jurassic pork. I'm going to have some tacos. It's Taco Tuesday at the Havel household.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, turkey
What
meat
kind of
tacos.
turkey tacos?
Yeah, turkey tacos.
You can do anything with tacos.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be good. Come back tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. God bless. Put a smiley face. Someone else says they deserve it. So do you. Peace.
KORE Springfield, Eugene. I'm Dan Patrick, and you're listening to the Valley's best sports station, Eugene's Sports Animal. Nothing is too big for the sports animal to handle. That's what she said. Your home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and The Drive with Danny, Steve, and Justin from 3 to 6. This is the sports animal.
Sports fans, you know weekends belong to sports. And Fox has more sports than any other broadcast station. From NFL to UFL, MLB to MLS, plus the best in college football and Big Noon Saturday. The best in sports, only on Fox.
Get your news, get your weather and sports, and get to bed. Fox 34 News at 10, Western Oregon's only 10 o'clock news.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people. Without destroying your credit, they can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number DC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debts may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At The Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support The Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew. So here we go. First day on the job. You got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.